Alrighty, folks, welcome back. We are here once again with the Halloween for this year, 2023. It is me, it is the Loudcat, and it is the ones from Varlastan and friends. So, starting with Dragon, who are you, where are you from, and who are you playing tonight?
Oh, I'm Dragon. If you're on this channel, you've probably seen me at some point, or heard me. Been a cast member of Penance RPG from the start, haven't had as much chance to play the last couple of years. Tonight, I am playing Dalith. She is a tiefling who is really nosy and curious about things, which will either serve me really well, or I'll be dead within one time slot.
That's fair. Next we have Coakley.
Yep, I'm Coakley. You've probably seen me on the Varlastan streams. And tonight I'll be playing Magnan, Sphinx Tabaxi Inquisitive, a detective, an investigator, someone who's here to at least attempt to get paid to solve a mystery. So we will, again, I'm pretty sure between at least the two of us, something's going to get solved. Don't know whether it will be useful or what, but we'll just see how it pans out.
Alright, and finally for this moment, we may have someone joining late, but finally for this moment, we have Sam.
How you doing, everyone? I am SamMunition. Don't think you'd know me from anywhere. Very infrequent streamer over at SamMunitionDepot. Today I will be playing Six Bells, Tabaxi, who liked the idea of being a healer but didn't have the aptitude for it, and has found her niche just in tinkering with things.
Alright, well, as I said, we may have someone else joining soon, but for the moment, that is the players. Let us begin. Now I need you to move, because I need to talk into that microphone now. Alright, so, as ever, with any Penance RPG, Halloween, or one-shot we've pretty much ever done, you've responded to work on the wall of a tavern. Sorry, request for work, sorry. On the wall of a tavern. And as you're waiting around to find out who's going to come and speak to you this time, the door to the back room is slowly pushed open, and a very elderly-looking butler walks forward and announces to the room, "His Lordship the Honourable Fabius Vincenzo Cassiano Matteus Conforti III, Admiral of the Order, Protector of the Realm, Personal Huntsman to the King's Kitchens, Highest Bishop to the Divine Lady, Recognised Seventh in Line to the Throne of Duskinov, Master of Wit, Wisdom and Wholesome Living, Father of Fabius Vincenzo Cassiano Matteus Conforti IV, the soon-to-be uncontested King of all of Duskinov, bids you enter his illustrious chamber. Please remove your shoes." What do you do?
I'm not wearing shoes, so I wipe my feet on the mat.
Yeah, I'll join in that.
I don't think any of us wear shoes. I've been struggling to find anything that would fit my hooves in them. Well, I shall
Look down at my feet and
removing.
I mean, I don't want to offend, so I want to ask the butler, is that appropriate? Is that, excuse me, sir, I'm not actually wearing shoes. I don't really have anything. Would it be acceptable if I just wipe my paws?
He sort of looks at you slightly confused, looks down at your paws, looks back up and just sort of looks quite flustered. Yes, that'll be fine. So as you all enter this sort of back room, immediately because two of you are two of you are tabaxi, you immediately get a slight, strongly overpowering scent of aged cheddar. And as you move closer into the room, you see behind a table filled with hundreds and hundreds of small plates and dishes, all a mountain almost of food. It's this gigantic blob of a man shoveling food into his face. You can hear just the sound of from him just shoveling stuff into his mouth as you walk in. And then the butler walks past you all and just sort of walks around and nudges him a little into the side, who he then sort of stops, turns to the butler with a raggedy beard soaked in gravy, and just goes, "Ah, what? Ow!" And he puts down the roast boar he's holding, and looks to you all and goes, "So you're gonna work for me, yeah?"
We've not been told anything about it. What kind of work do you have for us?
He sort of looks you all over and then goes, "Well, good." He takes a goblet of wine and just guzzles half of it and putting it back down the table and starts coughing loudly. The steward sort of walks over, looks at him, toss his head down as the coughing doesn't subside, and he rings a small bell, and 3 large men run in from the backside and start slapping him on the back and somewhat almost Heimlich manoeuvring him. And as this massive lump of chicken flies forth from his mouth, the 3 men sort of nod to each other and head back to the room, and the butler replaces the bell. You hear, sorry. So, my wife's left me. I need you to go get her back."
A belt? Or a bell?
A bell.
Okay.
So there he goes. "Yeah, me wife's taking me kid. We can't have that. Need her back. Jessup, pay them what they want." And he just goes back to start eating this gigantic lump of pig. And the butler gives a sort of slightly pained expression, then walks back over to all of you and goes, "His lordship would like you to return to him his wife and child. Whatever you would like to be paid for this."
Do you have any idea what sort of direction they might have gone in?
Oh yes, they've gone to the Isle of Mheruath.
I see.
They got brought up in this. I don't know if you've seen it around town. The fellows that keep shrieking about the end of the world is coming. They say that salvation only lies on this very remote island. It's a load of hogwash, if you ask me.
I see. So it'll be quite difficult to get to this island, I assume.
Oh, it's a several-day boat trip, I'm afraid, but we'll cover your expenses.
Excellent.
It might be impertinent of me, but when you say his wife has left and gone to this island, are we talking about her? You know, has she joined? This sounds like some kind of cult activity. Has she joined a cult, or has she just left him?
Well, I think she's been. I think people have been whispering in her ear, as it were, and she's fell to this strange gentleman that has caused everyone to leave. It's not so much the wife he's worried about, to be honest. It's his young son. The heir is quite important to his lordship.
Well, that's fine. That changes the context. I wasn't on board about dragging an unhappy partner back, but, you know, if she's had someone whispering words about the end of the world in her ear and setting her on another course, that's a bit more acceptable.
It's sheer madman. It's nothing that would be too important. I mean, everyone talks about the end of the world all the time. I mean, I don't see why this is any different.
Age is the child.
Oh, he's about 7 or 8, I believe. He's got his father's physique. He's going to be a big boy.
Well, I imagine if we're going to have to take a boat and deal with the end of the world, that'll be danger pay, and, you know, depending on how difficult it will be to physically drag the child back.
Well, I'm sure you understand the social understandings of, if, you know, a young heir is removed, the sort of gap in power and the social embarrassment his lordship would face, so I'm sure money is no option.
Good to know. Is there anything that we should know with regards to the relationship between the Lord and his wife?
Oh, his lordship's, his lordship has a very, unique understanding of matrimony. He's had several concubines, as it were, but but the only one is bore him a child, and when that one did, and it was a male son, he had married her immediately.
I see.
Are we aware whether that's a common practice for nobility in this area?
It's not what you would say is common practice, but it's probably something that goes on without much knowledge of it.
One of those not actually secrets.
Yeah.
So this sounds like it's going to be quite involved. I mean, we're dealing with various shady characters here that clearly have the ability to sway people to one way or the other. I don't want to lock ourselves into a flat fee for this here. Can I just confirm that, there's room for negotiation when we complete the task?
Oh, I'm sure it'd be fine. I'm sure his lord... Oh, he tilts his head a little bit. He looks over. The blob is literally snoring face down in the hog. And he just turns to all of him and goes, "Look, I might as well be honest with you. His lordship doesn't have long to live. He's going to probably kill himself with how many times he chokes and splutters on his food. He doesn't have long, whereas the young master would probably make a fantastic ruler. I want to get him back, so when he gestures towards the blob, has finally choked himself to death fully, we can actually, get on with it easily rather than having to try and find him from across the world."
Appreciate your candor.
So what you're saying is that should we return the son, then money might not be an object in as much as a peerage, for example.
Oh, I'm sure I could talk to the young master. I'm sure he'd understand as long as you're, he remembers you in good light.
I don't think he'll remember much based on the wine and hog consumption, but we'll see.
All right.
Well, as long as you're happy to give us an advance and we can to cover our expenses, we will...
Sure. Excuse me. He goes into his pocket and pulls out a different bell and rings it. At this point, a sort of youngish elf comes in, carrying a small bag of gold. He goes, hopefully this will suffice.
Perhaps one of those each.
He looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and goes, "Well, as long as you're going to guarantee the young master gets back, I suppose that's fine." And he nods at the elf, who puts the bag down and runs off to grab another one. "Is there anything else you would like to know?"
Is there a name for this movement, this doomsday cult?
Oh, a name for them? Let me think. Well, I know that the man that they've all been quite enthusiastically talking about. 1 second, I can't find the name. It's been a while. Wrong page. There we go. It's there's an elf called Artemis. He has been the sort of forefront. I mean, there's rumors that he's been doing minor miracle things all around the land. The land of Duskanov. And there's one thing that he apparently brought a man back from the dead, but you know how tongues wag. It can't be as straightforward as it seems.
Goodness.
And the name of the young son that we're to fetch back?
The young son. The young son. Nobody's asked this before, so I don't have it written down. Let's just call him Jonathan.
And I'm just wanting to cover all contingencies here. You seem like a man with your finger on the pulse. In the event that the wife is not willing to come back and we're not able to convince her, do you think that Lord Fabius would be satisfied if we were able to only return his son as the heir to the throne?
Well, I would understand, and I could easily cover for that if that's what you managed to do.
Good to know.
Better.
Okay. Any other questions?
A physical description of them.
A
Should
physical
probably have thought
description.
that first.
Well,
The fattest kid around is what I've managed to pick up.
That might not help with the wife, though.
Lady Catherine is long raven hair. She wears a lot of that sort of finery jewelry. You know, the lot of sort of gold jewelry around the wrists and like sort of airy clothing. But she's you'll know her voice. She's got a distinctive angelic tone.
I see.
Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm willing to take on the work and do my best to spirit the good lady and the good boy back into your careful watch.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. He walks around and he just pokes the sort of blob again, and who sort of suddenly makes it go, Jessup, I'm feeling tired. Fetch me some whores. And just the butler just rolls his eyes as you slowly make your way out.
I can't imagine we're going to drag the wife back, right?
Yeah, I would put the question to her. I get the feeling she doesn't want to come back, and I don't want to force the issue.
I'm not sure I blame her.
And I mean, I'm not all about destabilizing an entire nation state, but if the son comes back to take over, maybe that would be better happening sooner than later.
Yes. Although, I'm very curious about this end of the world cult.
I'm curious how a man that size managed to father a child.
Police must have been involved.
And the child is not a newborn, so I'm sure his situation has got more dramatic as time progressed. Anyway.
Yes, we'll make our way to the ferry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you rest and then make your way down to the docks. And as you are sort of wandering around the docks looking for where your ship is, you hear a shrill voice going, "Lords and ladies, if any of you wanting to be saved, salvation awaits in the Isle of Mheruath. You there, wonderful furry gentleman there," and he points towards you and goes, "Would you wish to be saved by his lord and the most powerful savior in the land?"
I would certainly have some questions, but...
Oh, well, questioning is not the thing the Lord does. He just saves that you give yourself to him and repent all your sins.
But see, questioning is what I do, so...
Oh, I see.
Perhaps we'll leave it for now.
Oh, well, would you like a pamphlet?
Yes, I'll take one.
He hands you this crudely written pamphlet that talks about, salvation awaits in the Isle of Mheruath.
I need something to distract me, as I've just realised that one of the fears I wrote down was water.
Yes.
You know what? Getting on a boat sounds fine while there's money involved. But now...
You just spend a lot of time below decks. You don't need to look at the water.
You might need to put me in a fucking crate.
Just don't think about it. Out of sight, out of mind.
A large travel box.
Yeah. That'll do.
A Tabaxi-sized pet crate.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So you find...
nervously scratching behind my ear the entire time we're walking down.
You better not have fleas.
I don't think I can. I'm pretty sure I'm a sphinx, so I'm chamois leather smooth.
So you make your way down to the docks. You find your ship. You get yourself on board. You find a comfortable area below deck where you don't realise that you're on the sea, and you set off. And the ship is a relatively smooth ride, though near the end it does get a little bit more choppy. But as 2 or 3 days pass, you eventually hear the cries of land from above, and as you look up onto the deck, you see in the distance this small island with this lighthouse looking down on everything else. And as you sail around the sort of edge of this island, you see lots of jagged rocks and broken ships that seem to have not been safe enough to get round. And as you pull into the docks itself, you see that there are about 6 other ships in the docks at the moment. And you climb off from the ship and you join this, what looks like a gigantic welcoming line, which seems to end at this small table where 2 gentlemen seem to be sitting, talking to everyone who arrives. After about a further half an hour or so, you're eventually at the front of this queue, and you see these 2, which look like a elf and a dwarf. The dwarf goes, "Hello there, I'm Nigel. Welcome to our island. What's your business here?"
Nigel, we're here. We've got this pamphlet, and we're interested.
Oh, good. Well, His Grace Artemis does their ceremonies every evening. They're currently they're going to be in the town square tonight. So yes, please make your way that way. I think you might find the inn may be full, but yeah, don't worry about that. Just we're working on solutions.
Oh, okay.
At this
You
point,
must be dealing with a lot of people.
oh, he's a wonderful man, is Artemis. At this point, the elf sort of has a side look at you all and goes, "Is that weapons you have? I mean, you don't need them here. I mean, if you'd like to donate to our chest, we're going to send these off and use the money to feed everyone." And he gestures to a sorry-looking trunk that has about maybe two small daggers in it. And you see occasionally people taking from this box and throwing it onto one of the ships. They look like they're going to different parts of the world.
Magnan stares down at his cat's claw gloves and is like, "These are costume jewellery. They're a cultural thing."
Well, same goes. If you'd like to donate, you're more than welcome. Don't feel you have to carry, just like the rest of the times, don't feel you have to keep a burden you don't need no more.
Very
No,
true. And
These are a burden I'll happily carry.
Dallas will pull out like a half gold coin and put that in towards the group for now.
Oh, bless you. And they sort of gesture when you walk around the side of the table. So as we get into our first time slot, your choices are: you can remain at the docks where there just seems to be a lot of people coming off the ships and milling around in large groups. There's you look over to the lighthouse. There seems to be a sort of it looks like a group of people talking amongst themselves around the lighthouse. And then you look and you see the town square itself, which looks bustling with people. Where would you like to go?
Well, I'm reckoning that Jonathan and the Lady Catherine, they're here already. So anyone coming in on the docks isn't really going to know much about them. I would think either we want to go to the town square or the lighthouse and listen to what they're, listen out, try and see what you can figure out.
I think the lighthouse might be more difficult to eavesdrop, essentially.
Yeah, there's maybe less people to overhear there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might have a better chance at the town square.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Town square, please.
Town square. You walk along the well-trodden path from the docks to town square. In the town square itself, there are several buildings. There is there's an inn which dominates most of the town square, which has quite a large queue of people standing outside it. There's a blacksmith. There's what looks like some sort of baker. There's a fishmonger, a general trader, and there's quite large stables.
Can't be that tiny an island if there's a good-sized stables.
So as you walk up, there's quite a lot of people about. But is there anywhere particularly you'd like to, of that sort of small group of sort of shops and general things? Is there anywhere you'd like to go from that?
I mean, the general trader might be an item, or either the general trader or the baker or something like that, because, you know, they're going to need supplies. They might be regular customers here. The inn, I know that there's going to be a lot of congregation there, but, you know, we told them that we're here just interested. We don't want to maybe draw attention to ourselves that we're looking for people specifically, and shoving our way past the queue at the inn might draw some unwanted attention.
On the other hand, I suspect with Lady Catherine's jewellery, she's probably managed to either get a room at an inn or she's got someone else to take them in.
True.
Well, my other thought is that with a lot of cult type things, that may have been an expected donation of the jewellery, the finery, everything else, so I wouldn't necessarily want to use that as a way to track her. So we could try the general trader and see if she's managed to flog any of it, or if he's even seen a raven-haired woman with a large child.
Oh, although, I mean, the butler did say that the Jonathan has the same kind of eating habits as his father, so I can imagine that the baker might.
Yeah. that might be
He's been a regular at the bakery.
Why don't we try the baker first?
Oh, then again, look, two tabaxis and a tiefling just walking into a bakery and saying, "Have you seen a child?" That's going to raise questions.
No, it's fine.
I was thinking more subtle about it.
Yeah, we'll buy some sweet treats.
Buy some things, comment they must be incredibly busy, and how many visitors and customers they must have at the moment.
Who's your biggest customer?
Okay, I'll follow your leads.
Okay. You walk over to the inn. As you walk inside. There's most of the what you'd imagine there'd be produce is bare, and there's not really anything else there. You see in the back a frantic-looking elf. It looks like they're shoveling ingredients together and trying to mix it, but they look completely exhausted. What would you like to do?
Just try and draw the attention of the shopkeeper. Just, hello?
The elf sort of turns around and goes, can I help you?
Are you okay?
You're not wanting bread, are you?
Not right this moment, it's okay.
Oh, well, I've got 8 loaves still to make today, so if you excuse me, I'll be just getting on with that. And he just goes back to like shuffling these ingredients together while you're standing there.
Interesting.
Out of curiosity, What kind of ingredients is he throwing in these loaves?
He's throwing what looks like some sort of basic flour. He's throwing in water and hello, and I can't remember what else goes into bread. Butter and your standard stuff. Nothing you would think of out of the ordinary for making bread.
So this
Okay.
isn't a Kool-Aid situation.
No.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
Okay. I
Um,
mean, in
okay,
fairness,
that's good.
they already have them all here, and they're kind of trapped.
Yeah. Hmm.
And he's kind of frantically making loaves. He doesn't seem interested in 3 customers that have just walked into his shop. So I don't think like kind of angling about buying the sweet rolls and talking about how great they are. He seems too harassed for that. I don't know. I was looking at my everything I've got with me and seeing if there was anything that I could do, offer to help, or can I help in any way? But I really have nothing to help with making bread.
I have oil, that's it. And I think what he mostly needs is just fewer customers. Not a usual complaint for a shop.
No, but there was quite the line of people, so...
Yes.
Oh. What if, I mean, so this is obviously just where everyone's arriving to the island. I can't imagine that if he's this harassed to actually make his goods, he's only out to do many deliveries. That's one way we could offer to help, is offer to take things to his biggest customers.
Hmm.
Excuse me, Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
You seem a little put upon. Can we help in any way?
I just don't have enough time in the day to make bread. So many people want bread. So many people want bread. I'm not used to this. When I came here, there was about 20 people on the whole island. Now there's like 2,000. There's so many people here.
Oh goodness. That's a lot of people to try and feed.
And none of these people that are coming to the island are able to help out?
No. No one's offered. I mean, if you want to offer to make bread, you're more than welcome.
I mean, I would offer to make bread, but I get the feeling that I would just get my fur in the bread, and no one wants furry bread. I mean, if you need anything done outside the shop, I mean, I could help take things places, or go look for, get ingredients, or...
He looks at you for a minute, then goes, well, I have 5 loaves to be delivered shortly if you want to deliver them for me. Just to the inn.
Sure,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can do that.
Okay. So he, after about maybe 10 minutes, he pulls these loaves out of the oven. And he wraps them loosely in cloth. And hands them to you and says, these are the list of people who these are for. Just take them to the inn, please.
Certainly.
Alright, is there anything else you want to ask
Having
him?
a good nosy at the list.
So, yeah, take a nosy at the list, kind of subtly, or even wait till we're outside, because,
Yeah.
just so we don't give away the fact that we're, too interested in his customers.
Okay. So you walk back outside. Again, the place is still relatively busy. Is there anything you want to do, or do you want to have a look at the list now?
Yeah, we'll take a look at the list.
Yeah, this seems like I don't know if it takes 3 people to deliver 5 loaves, but this could be our way past that queue into the inn. But yeah, let's have a shifty at the list.
That's true. Okay. You look at the list. It mentions very boring names. Nothing stands out to you. Although it does mention a tabaxi called Petal, who seems to be the innkeeper.
Interesting.
Okay, well, we know who we're delivering to, at least. That's a good start.
Would say that our other option is, once we're shouting out who we're delivering to, that we at least try and call for the wife and boy, but that's assuming that they're not using a fake name while they're on the island.
Oh,
Could immediately raise suspicion.
I was hoping that we could ask Petal which rooms that these people are staying in, so we can deliver them directly.
But yeah, kind of go to kind of Petal and kind of like go into reception and just say, okay, we've got these for the inn, but these are for specifically where are they? Can we take them to them?
Yeah. And even if none of them are the people we're looking for, we at least have more time to look around inside, so we know what the inn is like, what class of people have managed to find rooms in the inn. Because if they're all working class or like merchants and things, we're unlikely to find a noble staying there.
Yeah, we can have a look at the clientele.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, so I'll grab 2 loaves, and you can grab 2 loaves, you take 1, and that way, when we're trying to cut the line to get in, we say delivery's coming through, delivery, excuse us, and we don't have empty-handed people just kind of coming in. That's going to cause a bit of aggro in the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So
we shall do that.
as you head over to the inn and slowly start using your delivery ruse to get inside, like even when you take a step inside the inn, the smell of people is very strong, and as you look around, it looks like there are hundreds of people, even in this low, sort of like even the bar level of this inn. There are areas that seem to have been like cornered off with like cloth where people are staying. There are very makeshift beds everywhere. It looks like every single like tiny piece of space that could be made into a room has been made into a room. And as you look around, a somewhat exhausted looking tabaxi comes over and goes, "Hi, yes, if are you staying here? You've just walked in."
Are you Petal?
Yes, and just tilts the head a little bit.
Hi, we have bread for you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Come over here, and she sort of works her way around all these people, eventually back to the bar, and she goes, "Right, do you know what the best thing is for cutting bread thinly?"
Would have thought the sharp knife or serrated knife.
Right, sort of looks around and then eventually finds this knife and starts cutting the bread in the thinnest you've ever seen a slices of bread.
Transparent slices.
This goes, "Well, thank you for your delivery. I've already paid Izzy, I think, so that's everything. I didn't know we had a service."
Some of these say that some are going to individual customers who are staying here.
Oh, they'll be the upstairs people.
Okay. Would it be? We're happy to take them up and deliver them to the door. If you could tell us which rooms it is.
Well, they were staying in room. Well, let me see the list. Actually, she takes the list off you, looks it over and goes, "Oh, they're all staying in room A." It was a room as itself, room A, but it's now like about 20 different rooms. We've sort of divided it up so we get more people in.
Okay, so when we go upstairs, is that one of the first doors we come to?
Yeah, it's the first on the left, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Petal.
And the tabaxi goes back to very scientifically cutting the bread as thin as possible.
So we shall delicately pick our way through.
Alright.
I'm quite glad I have hooves in this place.
Oh, yeah. My fur's gonna get all matted down on my feet.
Yeah, so we're going to have to clean our pads later. How do you think we feel? Well,
There are advantages to having hooves.
So as you head your way up the stairs, again, even when you get to the top of the stairs, all the doors look like they've been taken off. And there's about 8 rooms that have been all divided up into like the tiniest of living spaces.
Goodness me.
Six is getting a little bit shirty about this. I'm not really claustrophobic, but I don't really like small, inescapable spaces. So if you're okay, I'm just going to stay in the corridor a little bit. Yeah, I'll watch the door.
Alright.
Yeah,
Well,
that works.
Dalith is claustrophobic. However, she's also incredibly nosy. She'll be
I'm
like,
not that nosy.
she'll be like walking in slightly twitching.
I'm gonna stay in the corridor
That's
and eye
fine.
the main door.
I'll take the lead.
Okay. So you walk around. You decide to have a quick look around before you go into the first room, and literally every single room seems to be set up the same. It's divided into as minimum of space as possible. Everything seems to be separated with makeshift wooden panels like the doors from before, bits of benches, planks of wood, cloth, whatever can be used to separate rooms up has been used.
Goodness.
Yeah, and in that case, we will walk into the first door on the left
Mhm.
with our list
Mhm.
and exclaim, "Bread delivery for," and then read the names off the list.
Okay. You read them off.
As soon as you say that, Dalith is wincing. Because all of them will want bread. You're about to start an actual riot over bread.
As you say this,
It's fine. We'll make sure that the only people who can provide their names will be able to get bread from us.
4 people come over and enthusiastically tell you that they are who they are. They show you some kind of vague documentation that tells you that the name does match, and they go back to what looks like 4 of them go back to 4 groups of what looks like families cheering around one small bed. There's
Does
no one that matches Catherine or Jonathan.
That I was about to ask, does anyone look like
Yeah.
a rich noblewoman with
No.
really long black hair?
There's one person that looks slightly finer than the rest, but he obviously looks like he's served in some kind of soldier, rather than being noble or anything.
And I take it when we had a look round the other rooms before we went into room A, there wasn't really anyone that we could see matching the description.
There was a couple of people who had a little bit more finery than the rest, but nothing that majorly stood out.
Okay. I wonder, even even what was a tiny place like this must have had somebody in charge at some point. Although I suppose
Oh, you mean like the town? I was about to say Petal's in charge, but no, you mean the town itself.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, mayor or a registrar or something.
yeah.
I think that might be an idea. I could kind of walk back and, Petal, I'm assuming, still kind of cutting thin slices of bread and just say,
It's finally finished cutting the bread into the thinnest slices possible.
And I kind of want to just say to Petal, so, this place is so busy now. It's in the bakery they were saying that it used to be about 20 people and it's shot up to 2,000.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
How do you deal with this many people? Who's in charge of everything?
Well, it's just me in the inn mostly. Monty comes round every so often, and Magdalene also comes round. But we've been trying to get them to give me permission to build like bits on the end of the inn so we can have more people. But they don't want to ruin the mystique of the town.
Who are Monty and Magdalene?
Monty's the mayor, and Magdalene's she sort of owns the island.
Oh, I mean, that ship's kind of sailed, hasn't it? The mistake's kind of gone with 2,000 people on a small island.
Well, they've not really been happy at all this influx of people, but we can't really do much about it.
No.
And you think they come round every so often? Do you know where they would generally be found?
I haven't seen them for a while. No. Last time I saw Monty, he was walking through the town earlier, complaining that he couldn't stroll with his cane without worrying about people walking into it.
Monty and Magdalene associated with the religious group that are gathering on the island?
No, they don't like them. the religious group are all staying out of town. They're all down that way. And she vaguely points, like, through the wall, a vague direction, like off to the side. Goes, they're all down there in this small camp. That's a good point. I could just build there. That's a great idea. Excuse me. And she sort of bustles to the end and then heads out the front door.
Has anyone left in charge? I kind
Nope,
of feel bad about leaving.
Just yeah, with very thin slices of bread, and you see the occasional person just subtly walking up and just taking a couple of the small thin slices away.
I mean, I feel bad about leaving the bar unattended. That seems like a bad maneuver.
There's no actual bottles or anything behind the bar. It looks completely empty.
That was the move I noticed then. Well, see if we can get at least a free drink out of this, but oh well.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in character,
Mm-hmm.
so you're off the hook. Who on earth are all of these people if all the religious ones are in a camp down the road?
I mean, I thought it would just be, overspill. If they're saying that it's a small island to begin with, I can't imagine a camp's going to have facilities. So,
Well, my first instinct.
the people that started off well-to-do, we saw a couple of people up in the rooms that looked like they have a bit of money before they get shaken down on arrival. So maybe they were able to get lodgings at the inn when they found that the camp was, a camp.
My first instinct would be that these are not exactly believers, but certainly people who've heard that there is salvation on this island. They're not necessarily all in, but they're hedging their bets.
Yeah. Although they need to be some desperate people to, we saw families in there that are living in horribly tight, cramped conditions. You got to be pretty invested to drag everyone out to a tiny island and live in these kind of conditions. And although if they get shaken down for all they had on arrival for donations, and now maybe they don't have the facility to get back off the island, because Nigel down at the docks and the other guard, they seem pretty invested.
I'm actually gonna not grab, but like see if I can tap someone on the shoulder as they go by and just say that we're new to the island. We'll introduce ourselves and ask what brought them here to the island. Just one of the randoms in the.
Okay, you turn a random. He goes, me? Well, I just read about salvation. It's important, isn't it? What's beyond, all that kind of stuff. I mean, do you know what's going to happen tomorrow?
I would like to hope that the sun will rise and birds will chirp and
Oh God!
the usual.
What if the sun doesn't rise tomorrow? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
It's all right. It's all right. I mean, has someone told you that the sun's not going to rise?
Well, they just. But what if that? I never thought about that. Oh God!
No.
It'll be so
But the
dark.
I'm sure the sun will rise. I mean, so you all seem to be pretty packed in here. Have you been down to the camp and seen Artemis?
Oh, we went to see him yesterday. My youngest got salvation.
Oh, your youngest got salvation?
Yeah. He waits behind after every ceremony and grants salvation to everyone who's arrived. It's a wonderful man.
What does granting salvation involve?
Well, we sort of ask them their name, and then he asks, do they believe? Then he sort of pops them on the head, and then they go, oh, and then he goes, that's you. You're repented of sin.
So if you, I take it have you had salvation?
Well, I wasn't going to, but the wife was very insistent that our youngest got it. But having seen how easy it is, I might just.
Well, I mean, if you're only concerned about your youngest having it, and now that you are saved, do you need to stay on the island? I mean, it's so cramped here, and there's not a lot to go round.
He's a really interesting man to listen to. Is Artemis? I never thought about what's beyond or anything before we started talking, but he's got this little glowy book, and every time the book starts glowing, it's just really interesting, isn't it? You don't see that every day.
No, you don't.
Okay. I don't like the sound of a glowing book.
I don't like the sound of a quick slap granting salvation, but yeah, okay.
And there could be worse things that granting salvation could mean.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Very.
Oh, okay. Shall we go? So I think we'll probably, when we can, head to the camp. Shall we go have a little wander through the rest of the square quickly?
Just
I was going to say, did they not say that Artemis would be performing in the square this evening?
Mm-hmm.
What time slot are we in just now?
You're in evening at the moment.
Hey, perfect.
Okay. Then I think we go and see if there's any performance starting.
Okay. You walk out of the inn, and as you walk out of the inn, you see, you immediately see Petal arguing with someone across the way who looks like the blacksmith. And down off to the left, you see what looks like a stage, and it looks like there's a man there. Looks like he's doing some kind of cooking with a giant cauldron.
And I try to overhear what Petal and the blacksmith are arguing about.
Mm-hmm. As you get close, you hear, look, it's very simple. Right, you just need to make me things that I can either hang stuff on, or, and this is a great idea, how about you open your house? I mean, I've got lots of people there. They'll pay you, not me, and they'll stay in your house, and then we can get rid of them out the street, and then you'll make money, and I'll make money, and I'll be here forever, right? And the boss goes, no interest, no, I like my house, no interest. Oh, come on, it's really easy, just let them in, you know, you don't have to let them all rooms, you can just let them in a couple of rooms. I mean, I'm getting about 50 of them into one room in there. You could do just the same. I mean, think of that, you know, 50 gold a day, think of that, you'd make a fortune.
Oh, I felt a bit bad for Petal, and now it turns out she's a slum landlord.
No. So, no, I don't have interest. What is it you want me to make? Well, just make me these little hook things that can hang from the ceiling, you know, hang cloth on, so I can divide more rooms up. Or could you make me nails? If you make me nails, then I can build houses. And then I can put the people in those houses. Yeah, that's a great idea. Where would I get wood? I know where I'll get wood. And just runs off without talking anymore. And you see them running off towards the general trader.
Right, shit. After Petal, Petal, you've left the inn unattended.
I'll have some serious impulse control issues. But
1 gold a day?
Oh, yeah.
Lord.
It's profiteering.
To put it mildly. It looks like after a natural disaster in there, not pre-apocalypse.
Okay.
I suppose we better... I just suspect that nobody's going to just answer us about where Lady Catherine is.
Well, from what the random in the pub that the inn that we spoke to, he didn't really seem that invested to begin with. He said it was, his wife was insistent that his youngest get salvation, but then when we kind of talked to him about it, he's like, no, well, it's quite captivating. So it seems like these people, even if they're not invested, they do want to come back and listen to what Artemis has to say. So I've got to imagine that if Lady Catherine has dragged her son all the way here, fled from her husband, she's going to be in attendance at this thing tonight. So I would say, we can see if we can set up a vantage point and have a look at the crowd and see, do we see someone with raven hair or dragging a potato of a child?
Okay.
That's a very cute way of putting it.
Right, well, are you wanting to do anything else before the time slot changes?
I just want to pop my head at the bakery and let them know we delivered them. I hope things get easier.
You just see him pull more loaves out the oven and like almost collapse in exhaustion. But as that time slot ends and we get into night, you notice a gathering happening around the stage. It seems the man that was cooking around a pot is handing out bowls, quite large bowls of soup to people. So it's getting into the night slot, so your choice is to stay in the town square or to go to... There looks like a bunch of lights out around the lighthouse. Yes, around the lighthouse.
I mean, the town square is presumably where we have the highest likelihood of seeing the lady. It might also allow us to ask a few questions of the locals, like where a well-to-do person might be finding their lodgings. Although I suspect if they're well-to-do enough, then they'll probably be lodging with the mayor, or...
I'm starting to think that the mayor is so curmudgeonly that he wouldn't let anybody in. But you know, she's an actual noble, so she might be quite close to Artemis.
Also true.
Well,
It depends if Artemis is interested in that kind of old world thing, whether he believes his own teachings or not.
I've yet to meet a cult leader who wasn't interested in someone with a lot of money, so... I vote we stick around at least and see what all the hubbub is about.
Yeah, I'm happy staying in the town.
Okay.
I think we might be sleeping outside overnight though.
So
fine.
you stay in the town square. As I said, the gathering gets more and more people around this it looks very badly built stage, but it looks like it holds up enough. The large cauldron is used for feeding pretty much everyone there. Are you going to try and get any food from this, or are you just going to just watch and see what happens?
No.
Sorry?
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, no. No offense.
Kind of sidle closer and see if I can look at it and see what kind of thing they're actually serving.
It looks like some sort of mushroom broth.
Okay.
Seeing as I have nature as a skill
Mm-hmm.
and a high intelligence and awareness,
Mm-hmm.
what's the chances I could identify the mushrooms in it?
You could try.
No, they're cooked.
Mm-hmm. Give me a roll.
Let's give it a go. 15 plus my intelligence of 4, 19.
19. You sort of, from glancing, because you don't have one in your hand itself, from glancing over, you see it has mushrooms diced up and put through it. One or two of them you vaguely recognise as being cave mushrooms, but you don't. From where the distance you're at, you can't really see much more than that.
Okay, we're gonna have to get up closer. I'm very suspicious of the food, but that would probably involve waiting in line, wouldn't it?
There is a short queue of people, but despite the sort of lack of food everywhere else, it does seem to not be a problem for these people. They seem to have enough to go around.
Yeah, I want to question that.
I will join the queue.
Okay. You join the queue, and after maybe about 20 minutes, you have yourself a sort of clay bowl full of piping hot mushroom soup.
Thank you kindly. I will retreat to find somewhere to sit.
Okay.
And ideally somewhere away from prying eyes so I can actually investigate what's in this bowl.
Mm-hmm. You sort of, because you've rolled already, you sort of pick the mushrooms out and you look at them all. Those you pick out, you recognise several of them as being cave mushrooms. You recognise some of them as being used for, like, in sort of what you describe as folk medicine for everything from backache to headaches to anything. You remember yourself hearing a long time ago that they traditionally were used as a sort of very light hallucinogenic.
I'd suspected something of the like.
Are you going to share that information?
Yeah, they're not,
Yes.
they're not
Very-
poisonous or anything,
very
but
much.
they do have interesting qualities.
Yeah, so as I suspected, the show will be somewhat enhanced should we
Yeah.
decide to partake.
I mean,
But it's nothing actively dangerous.
I'm happy to be the control group. I don't really want to eat hallucinogenic mushrooms given to me by the servants of a cult master. I mean, if you want to go all gonzo investigation and get in amongst it, I'm happy to watch your back.
I am fairly resistant to magic, so wish me luck.
All right.
It'll be interesting if I see if the book glows for me or just for you.
Yes.
All right. You eat the soup. By the end of it, you feel warm and relatively full, like properly content in your meal for the first time you felt in a long time.
I'll be sure to share that information as well as I can.
The rest of you notice, that they seem a lot more relaxed than they were, a lot less on edge, and a lot more kind of just not docile, but just kind of a lot more mellow.
Hey, Magna, are you feeling okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about going back on a boat?
Did it once. Can't be that bad, right?
I'm feeling
Yeah,
that
he's
should
definitely affected.
be. Yeah, it should be more on edge about that.
All right.
Fine. When I get back on the boat, I'll be getting paid.
All right.
Fine. I mean, I think I'm going to keep an eye on him. Just kind of, just patting his head to make sure that he's still with us, and while we wait for Artemis to come on.
Okay. So
You're positive tonight.
as you all kind of sort of settle in for the evening, eventually a sort of middle-aged looking man with long grey hair and a sort of scraggly beard walks onto stage and goes, "Welcome everyone. Let us, I'm so grateful to see so many of you here. Welcome one and all, welcome you all in. I'm so glad so many of you wish to join our small congregation." And over the course of the next about hour and a half, he just sort of talks very gently and quietly about how, the joys of basically not being a dick to each other. And then at the end of it, he goes, "We've got some small things we need to do. Brian, could you please assist for this end bit, please?" And the man that was making the mushrooms comes up on stage and goes, "Well, we've had this sword made to commemorate our friend Warren here." And you recognise the soldier from earlier, and he goes, Warren was in the army, and he's left to become one of us, and we thought that was worth memorialising. So Warren, here's this sword for your friend. And he hands it down to Warren, and you look at the sword. The sword looks, from what you can see, looks quite finely made. And the man takes it and sort of turns it around in his hand, and he goes, "Oh, it's well balanced, that. I like that." And as he does that, Artemis goes over to this book, and he goes, rubs his hands together, and then turns the page, and there's this crackle like a wax seal breaking, and this is like faint glow starts going over the book.
All three of us?
Yep. You see it slightly more more obvious than the rest of them, but the other two do see there's a slight glow to the book. And he goes, "Let everyone know that by tomorrow we shall continue, and we shall continue to grow our congregation." And at this point there's this massive bang behind you. And you just see this cannonball fly overhead and smash into the side of the stage. And it just topples over and several people are crushed by this stage. And you just hear the sound of "Bagger!" from the background. Everyone starts panicking and pulling people out from under this bits of stage. And there's just general panic going on all around, and Artemis seems to disappear from the stage. What do you want to do?
All of that happy.
Do we follow Artemis, or do we investigate the cannonball? Well, it sounds like someone screwed up with the cannonball.
Yeah. The fact that someone shouted "bugger" him.
Why does an island with such a small population normally a cannonball or a cannon?
Oh, there was 6 ships in the harbour. It could have been fired from a ship.
Ugh.
It may be a Waco situation.
I'd quite like to get back off this island at the end of this. Thank you.
Well, I'd get off island now. Take the money and run, but no. I'm still slightly concerned that Magnan's not in his right mind, so I want to keep an eye on him. I'll just kind of follow along behind him.
Okay.
I vote for following the leader. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I do too.
As you follow around the back, you see that Brian has basically just taken Artemis around the side, and Artemis is like, "No, I need my flock are in danger, Brian. I need to go and save them." And Brian's going, "No, you stay here. You're too valuable. You stay here. I'll deal with them. You stay here. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but you stay here." So you see the two of them basically talking with Brian, got his hands on Artemis's chest, basically stopping him from going round. What do you want to do?
Since I'm already affected, I think I'm just gonna roll with it and say that, "Oh, listen, Brian, we'd be more than happy to take care of Artemis while you go and investigate. I mean, he is the most important factor to all of this, so please go and do what you have to do."
Brian looks over at you, looks you up and down, slightly like quizzical. Whereas Artemis goes, "See, Brian, the congregation have come to us. They know the importance of this. They understand. I don't recognize any of you, my children, but I'm sure you've had forgiveness already, or was this your first night? You wish forgiveness now?"
Oh, more than anything.
He just walks over and he just puts his hand on your shoulder, and you feel an odd warmth coming from his hand. He wants to do anything, or you just want him to continue?
I am just gonna drop to my knees.
Okay.
I am watching incredibly closely and suspiciously.
He just looks at you and just smiles, and he just puts his hand in his pocket and takes out this very light-looking, like slightly off-coloured, like almost like a beige bag, and just gently bops you on the head with it. And he goes, "There you are, my child. You are forgiven for any sin you haven't committed in the sight of his Lord."
Oh, thank you. See, Brian, everything's fine. Now fuck off and deal with the cannon.
Brian, again, sort of looks you up and down quizzical, but just shakes his head and goes, "Alright, well, I'll be back in a minute." And runs off around the corner. Artemis turns to the other two of you and goes, "Either of you would like absolution?"
I'm all right for salvation, thank you very much. I'm full of salvation, thank you. I had some before I got on the boat.
"Oh, no problem. It's entirely a self-choice." And just stares over towards the tiefling.
Yes, I would gladly take some salvation.
Again, he puts his hand on your shoulder. There's a strange, almost warmth just flooding the rest of you from him, sort of his hand on you. And then he just lightly bops you on the head with the thing and goes, "There we are, my child. You are now salvation. You have been granted forgiveness in the light of the Lord."
Six is now thinking, like, hang on, maybe he's not going to talk to us if I don't get saved here, because look at me as an outsider. So you're going to turn around and say, well, actually, my friends have kind of had salvation. You can never have too much salvation. I'll have a little salvation, thank you.
Ah, that is the spirit, my child. Again, hand on the shoulder, weird warmth sensation fills you, and he just bops you on the head very lightly. Then he just puts it back in his pocket. He goes, "Well, now that's been done, how are you, my children? How's your day been?"
Oh, I mean, it's all been an absolute rush. I mean, we got here and we helped the baker out, and then we saw the congregation at the inn.
Oh, Izzy's a wonderful baker. I wish he would be more willing to understand that people are not here to be a problem to him. They're here to assist in the salvation of our kind. But instead, he just seems so upset all the time that we are eating his bread.
Maybe someone helped him with baking the bread for a suddenly massive group of people.
I will mention it to Brian, and we shall have members go over and help him make the bread. I will make a note of it. And he sort of looks around for a while and rummages through his robes. I will make a mental note of it, for I have no paper.
So, I might need to try some Sherlock Holmes shit.
Okay.
What is in that bag? I've felt it bop off of my head, and I've seen it being used on the other two.
It literally looks like it's like if you got a small chamois leather and you rolled up into a ball, and you had something inside it, and you're literally holding it by, if you sort of rolled it up so it had all the corners and stuff at the top. He's literally holding that bit between his fingers, so whatever's in the bag is in the bag. He's just holding it like in the palm of his hand.
There's no chance we're getting that off.
I mean, I'm trying to stay. I'm my mind focused on the task. My first thought was not steal the religious artifact when we're trying to rescue the Lord's son here.
Right.
I'm trying to think of a good line in conversation here to try and figure out. So is it, the town seems to be overflowing with the congregation. Is everyone else at the camp, or are other people elsewhere on the island?
Oh, I don't have anything to do with the camp, I'm afraid. I sleep in the caves. I always have since I came here. I find it more relaxing. Brian made the camp for those who arrived who didn't want to sleep on the ground, as it were.
And is it just you at the caves, or has any of the other followers
just
gone
myself
with you?
Just myself and Brian. No one else seems to wish to come to the cave, so we sort of have it to our own little place together, which is very, very lovely for as it is.
Oh, is there any reason why people don't want to come to the caves? Are they?
Well, I don't
Scary
really know.
caves?
I mean, there's definitely evidence that other people have been there. I mean, I know Brian picks his mushrooms there every day, and we sort of there was mining a long time ago in the caves, but it's been a sort of hotbed for mushroom growing. They grow very quickly in the caves. I don't know what it is. If it's something just about the atmosphere or what it is, but yes, those mushrooms just grow very quickly down there. I know the town people go down there to occasionally get them as well, but this is where I met Brian, of course. Brian lived down there before. He's a native of this wonderful island.
Okay. Caves enough to that they can supply 2,000 people with mushroom broth daily. I have suspicious.
Must
Oh,
be a
that's
lot
the
of mushrooms.
that's the joy of broth, my dear. It goes past a lot faster than you'd want it to. You can thin it down, and it still covers many people.
Uh, so so we've kind of established that we've not really seen. But then again, we've only looked in the end. We haven't looked at the out towards the lighthouse or in every building, but we haven't seen anyone in the town. I take it during the kind of the speech and the ceremony and everything, we didn't really see anyone matching the description of the Lady Catherine and Potato.
No one that you could see, no.
So we haven't seen them there.
Mm-hmm.
They could really only be at the lighthouse or the camp. And like he only mentioned that there's the caves and it's just him and Brian down there.
Why don't we ask Artemis about them?
Yeah, if you want to be direct, yeah, and just come right out and ask.
I mean, I'm not convinced that he's very with it.
Yeah.
Like,
He seems to have bought into his own hype.
yeah.
I mean,
as a generous description.
what would be a polite way to word it?
It
seems. Oh, on you go.
So, I mean, your congregation seems you've drawn in people far and wide.
Yes, we've drawn people as far as Dorohursk.
I mean, we came quite a way to see you as well from across the ferry. I had friends.
Oh, I'm very sorry, my friend. Sir, what was your name?
Oh, my name's Six Bells.
Six.
You can call me Six.
Six, and yourselves?
I am Dalith.
Dalith, okay, and
Magnan.
Magnan, okay. Well, I will do my best to remember your names, my friends.
That's all right.
Oh, we had a friend who came out a little bit before us as well. The Lady Catherine, I think she brought her son for salvation as well, Jonathan.
Catherine. No, I don't remember a Catherine.
Raven hair, voice like an angel.
Oh no, I've not anyone like that. I've had Kristen and Christine, and there was a Carl, I believe, but no Catherine. Especially no Jonathan either. I mean, we've had a bunch of children come through. It's been wonderful to see that the youth embrace the movement, as it were. But no, we've not. Don't remember a Jonathan. No.
So look like they definitely need more movement.
Well,
You must have had so many people come
oh
in.
yes, but I do my best to remember their names. At least the ones I help. I know Father Lysander does a couple as well, and he's a lot more. Well, he takes his time, but he's a wonderful old gentleman. Maybe he's seen this Catherine you talk about.
Oh.
Where would we find?
Oh, the father. He was there in the ceremony. I don't know where he'd been now. Usually he sort of hangs around the town square. He doesn't go far.
We will inquire with him.
Okay. At this point, Brian comes back and goes, "He's a bastard drunk. Don't worry about it. We're going to move the ceremony tomorrow. It's going to be at the farm. We'll build a new stage and everything. There are people injured, but we're working on it. Oh, I must go and help the injured. I can't stand around here doing nothing. I must do something. I'd rather you." And at this point, Artemis has just brushed past him and carried on walking. And Brian is just sort of standing there, just turns to all of you and goes, "Right, what's your game then? I don't know any of you."
Oh, we're new arrivals to the island, seeking salvation.
Oh, good. Right. Well, that's good to know. Well, I'm Brian. I make the soup. That's really all I do.
Nothing else?
Well, I pick the mushrooms, and then I make the soup, and that's really about it, to be honest.
As we were just saying to Artemis, it's fascinating to see how many people have come from so far and wide to join the movement.
Oh, yeah, he's got an odd reach as Artemis. People just seem to like him, you know. Well, I didn't think much of him, to be honest, until he turned up at the thing, and then he healed, what's his name? And then after he did that, I was like, well, maybe he is actually a real deal. But, yeah, ever since we built the stages, he's come on a long way.
You healed him from what?
Oh, he was struck down with this sort of strange wasting disease. Artemis sort of came in and did this sort of walla thing, and he got better. So, yeah, I mean, it stumped the town. I mean, we had a priest here. Well, he called himself a priest. He was just really this sort of drunk that called himself a healer, who was here before, but he stormed out and left the island after Artemis showed up.
What? Was it Father Lysander?
Oh, yeah, he's still around. He's in the inn somewhere. Lovely gentleman, but he's a little set in his ways.
I mean, so you said that the ceremony for tomorrow is going to be at the farm.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to move it to the farm, and hopefully we'll have less problems with that bloody drunk. I don't know why he was allowed near the cannon, but yeah.
Seems like a weird thing to have on such a small island, it's a cannon.
That's the problem with Billy. He's a bit of a... He sort of does the sort of drinky motion. He goes, he's a bit of a loose cannon, is Billy. I don't know why he brought his cannon with him. But yeah, I don't really understand it, but at least he didn't hurt anyone majorly. There's only a couple of people mildly injured, so yeah.
Okay. So, if you're going out to kind of build a new stage at the farm, is the farm as busy as everyone is here?
Oh no, the farm's empty, which is why we're going to use it. It's a bit bigger as well, so there's going to be less, crowd around buildings and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, if the farm's empty, then the Lady and Jonathan aren't going to be there.
Oh yeah, the other thing is that if we get there, then we will stop being annoyed by Monty and all his bureaucracy when he's like, to pay us for putting up a stage in our town square, and don't really want to pay him, to be honest. He's milking us enough as it is.
Yeah, it seems to be going around. We spoke to Petal earlier, and she was saying that he's a bit curmudgeonly. He's not happy about not being able to stroll.
Yeah, he doesn't like the fact there's people in his town. He's a mayor of somewhere at the back end of beyond, and he doesn't like the fact that people are here. Him and that old crone that also wanders around with him.
Oh, is that Magdalene? I think.
Magdalene, yeah.
Yes.
Bossy old woman.
We were actually hoping to see if we could find some of our friends once we got here.
Who are you looking for?
A lady called Catherine with a
Catherine.
9-year-old boy called Jonathan.
No, don't ring no bells to me. I grew up here. As I said, I've been here for a while. But I don't know a Catherine. Never met anyone. I think I'd know if there was someone with a young boy, because I remember when the inn first got full, we were trying to prioritise families getting in. That's why we built the small camp, to try and get a lot of them over there. But no Catherine.
Back home, Catherine is a lady of means. I don't imagine she would be lodging in the...
well, we've got a couple of those, I suppose. There are a couple of sort of more viable people that have been a little bit, turning their nose up a bit at staying in the sort of slums, but most of them seem to have met Artemis and then immediately been fine with it, so who knows?
Oh, of course, they're here for salvation. You can overlook a lot for that. I don't want to be indelicate, but, Catherine's son, you might recognize him more than her. He's a large boy. Husky doesn't really cover it.
Oh,
I don't want to be indelicate, but I go as far as to say chunky.
Oh, nothing I'm aware of. I'll have a look, see if I can think of anyone, but no one comes to mind. I assume you'll be at the ceremony tomorrow night.
Oh, you'll find us there.
All right. Well, if you're there, I'll have a look around, see if I can find it for you.
Oh, much appreciated, Brian.
At this point, there's a gasp from outside, and he's like, "Oh, bloody hell! Excuse me." And he just makes his way outside.
On you go.
I'm going to sneak after him a little bit and see if I can find out what's exasperated him.
You go out and you see a crowd gathered around, and you see Artemis on his knees, covered in mud, and you see a man sort of lying on the ground, like his leg is like covered in blood, but he's now moving his feet, and he's going, "That's amazing! You fixed my bone." And he's like, "Yes, my child, you've been healed. The power of the Lord flows through me." And it is everyone sort of like staring, so almost agape at this sight.
And if you did just heal someone's like badly mangled leg, I'm worried that this guy actually might be the real deal here. We end up just staying on this island.
Heal the leg, or is the guy high enough to walk on it? That's the question.
I was gonna say we might want to go out and like speak to him and help him to his feet and see whether it is actually fixed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you watch as the man is helped to his feet. He goes, "Oh, it's a bit sore, but I can walk on it. God's be praised." And everyone just starts cheering. He goes, "Well, if anyone does wish absolution this evening, I will be assisting here. Varlastan might join me if he's about. I've not seen him for a while, but if he's about, he will join me. But anyone else wishes absolution, please just queue yourselves up here, and we will get to you all. Remember, there's time for everyone."
I'm trying to watch this healed man as he's moving. Does his leg actually look like it's moving?
He's limping,
properly?
but he's limping in a way that someone with a sore leg would move, rather than someone with a broken leg would move.
Okay.
So he's not trying to walk off a broken leg because he's high as a kite.
Yeah. Interesting.
Or he's so high he doesn't know the difference.
I can attest to that. I'm mostly fine, and I had the same soup as he did, presumably.
Well, yeah, but you just had the soup and then had salvation. You weren't ministered directly to. If someone was sitting down there after being hit by a cannonball with a broken leg, and then you just whoop, there you go, have a little extra mushrooms.
I'm going to reach out to Magnum and pinch his arm really hard.
Okay.
How? Don't fucking do that.
Yeah, it's not the mushrooms.
All right. Well, the rest of the evening sort of goes by as that. You find a small area that's the night's dry and relatively warm. You find somewhere to get yourself basic shut eye, and then we move to the next time slot. You're awoken with a start by the sounds of a loud bang in the distance, and you sit up and you look over, and the start of this time slot is you can either stay in the town square, or you can you look over, and there seems to be something happening at the lighthouse. There seems to be what looks like a drunk man staggering around and firing a cannon. What do you want to do?
We gotta go find out what the deal is with that cannon.
Yes, I certainly would want to approach from the side. Or from behind cover.
All right.
Yes. I do not trust them.
So you go into the lighthouse then?
Yes, I think lighthouse to...
Okay. You make your way over to the lighthouse, and as you get close, you see the lighthouse itself is still lit and spinning, And there seems to be a man in what looks like very sort of ripped naval finery, with very bedraggled hair and bedraggled beard, and when you get even a couple of meters away from him, you can smell the strong smell of what only describes moonshine. And he seems to be like cursing and like prepping what looks like some sort of powder into a small tube. And then he occasionally starts leaning over and rolling a cannonball into the end of a cannon and causing it to fire, then going BAGA! And repeating the process. What do you want to do?
I kind of want to, like, as gently as I can, take his kind of tinder stick away from him so he can't light it again. And just kind of pacifying him, just saying, you keep shouting bugger, what's going on with the cannon?
And just turns around, he looks at you. He does the thing where you know that he's trying to focus on with one eye and then the other one after it. And he goes, who are you?
Concerned citizens. Looking
Very
to
concerned.
topography with a cannon.
I concerned citizens, wonderful. Yours 7 can help me with my conundrum.
Go ahead.
And he's sort of swaying a lot, and he goes, so I'm trying to get enough black powder to make this cannonball go that far. And he gestures out to sea. I'm trying to get this cannonball over there. But there's not enough powder. I need to get just enough powder. If I use too much, the cannon will explode. You don't want that.
You don't want that.
No.
What are you trying to hit?
He just vaguely points to off, and you see that and long distance is literally the rising sun. It's not much else. And he's like, that bastard there.
Are you trying to shoot at the sun?
It's not going anywhere. He takes another long glug from the sort of clear liquid in the bottle in his hand. I go, it's fine. I need to make this go there.
I mean, sorry, what was your name?
He sort of pulls himself to his full height and he goes, Captain Billy.
Captain Billy, I'm sick. Captain Billy, have you ever thought that the calculations that you're doing for your black powder and strong drink might not be the best combination?
That's a question for Sober Billy. That Sober Billy's not here. He just taps his nose.
And misses.
Billy's not been seen for a while. What we're dealing with is turpentine belly.
I'm afraid I will need to leave the tabaxi to deal with the drunk for now. My little tabaxi is nagging.
That's fine.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
I'm interested in Billy's cannon, but the urge to tinker with it is I don't really want to do that. Well, A, the owner's there, B, and belligerently drunk.
At this point, he turns around and goes, it's just this cannonball. And he just turns around holding this cannonball in between his hands in front of you. This cannonball it's not going far enough.
Considered that you might need a bigger cannon.
He gives you a look of, like, sort of, you see the sort of cog swirling his head, and he goes, you may be onto something. He swigs from the bottle again, and you see it just slowly empty the bottle, and he turns around and goes, excuse me, I need to refill. And he staggers his way into the lighthouse, opens the door and staggers inside.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable giving him back this tinder for lighting his. I kind of want to just accidentally drop it in a puddle or something.
Can we spike the cannon?
I mean, I have tinkering. I don't know if we can spike it in a way that. I mean, I don't want to destroy his cannon, but.
If we were able to say what in a way that he would notice, can barely fucking see straight.
That's true.
I imagine.
We just kind of stop up the little chamber that he's pouring the powder into, so he can only ever pour enough in that it goes pop, pop. I know it wouldn't be. Drunk Billy won't figure that out. Sober Billy will need to wait for Sober Billy to show up.
Yeah. I think between the two of us, we've both got tinkering, so I feel like we could disable the cannon fairly
Can we try
easily.
and knacker his cannon, not in a destructive way, but just knacker it so that Drunk Billy's not going to blow off any more limbs?
Okay, yeah. Roll tinkering.
Let's see. That is an 8
Okay.
for me.
13.
13, okay. You tinker with it a little bit. As he staggers his way back, his clothes stink like he's just poured the alcohol over himself, let alone in a bottle. And he staggers back over, again swigging from the bottle, and he goes, "So, and he lifts the cannon up, pours some more powder in it, pushes the cannonball into it, and then goes, "This is a leave of fire. Fire?
Where is the fire? I'll just
Fire!"
pretend that I can't see it either. Just hide it behind my back. Just. Where is the fire stick? Did you leave it inside?
He's just checking through his pockets again. There's bastard. I'll have to fight another one.
I can't keep taking them all. I can't just hover over him taking all of the
He
tinder.
takes a massive swig and he just starts pouring some of the alcohol into the cannon. One for me,
Billy.
one for you.
Billy, this is a terrible idea. Sorry, Captain Billy. Captain, this is a terrible idea.
It's the way of the sea. And he just sways himself back inside to try and find another fire stick.
Man, at this point, can we just lock him in the lighthouse?
Can if you want.
I have lockpicking. I can reverse lockpick him in.
I mean, we could just see if we can, like, get him to go for a sleep.
Yeah, can I follow Billy in while he's looking for a fire stick? I'll come in and just I'll help you look, Captain.
All right. So you
I don't want to go in uninvited, so I kind of poke my head in at the door and go, "Can I help you look?"
you poke your head in. Immediately, you smell the strong smell of moonshine. You see several, like about easily 20, 30 barrels, like big barrels as big as the cauldron from the other night, full of this stuff just stacked around the bottom, amongst the spiral stairs that leads upwards. And as you walk up the stairs, you see Billy sort of staggering around, looking around a very simple bedroom. And again, you just see him like poking around boxes until he finds a spare fire stick, and he goes, "I found it. Found
Oh,
it."
good, you found one. So what are you trying to shoot? You know, why does your cannon need to go further?
He just leans down and goes, and taps his nose 3 times and goes,
Yes.
and he just kind of just grins at you very sort of drunkily, and then starts staggering back down the stairs.
Oh, we're not going to get anything intelligible out of him.
No,
Is there
we're
anything
not.
else in the room though? Like in the space?
In the space.
So yeah, he has left us unattended in his room.
Mhm.
Is there any is there any notes on that maybe Sober Belly's left for when he was doing trying to figure out what was going on?
Do
or-
me an awareness check. Anyone that's in the room.
I assume I can jump in,
Yep.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
If all three of you want to do it, it's fine.
Okay.
23.
Oh,
Natural
17.
20.
17. What was that, Duncan?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay. From looking around the room, you pull open a drawer, and inside is a massive bag of gold, about the same kind of size as the one you got given. And you're just gonna go, what's this? And you open it again, it's just full of gold. And there's a small sort of name tag attached to the side of it that says, for Billy.
Did our bags have any name tags on them?
Nope.
Okay, so it's not probably not come from the same place.
No,
I mean,
nothing to match the handwriting to, but
That seems relatively innocuous.
unless
I mean, considering everything we've just...
He's been
Like,
paid
outside
to
this
get
man.
he's been paid. So, well, he's saying that the cannon needs to go further. We asked him if he was shooting at the sun. He says the sun's not going anywhere. So he might have been paid to make a cannon fire further. I've no idea why though.
got an assassination attempt last night.
Could be.
Well, no, because Brian found out. He's like, no, it's just Billy. He's a drunk. He's a loose cannon. So, you know, if it was an assassination attempt, I got to imagine that Brian would have had a bit stronger reaction to Billy messing around with with his cannon.
Assuming it wasn't Brian who paid poor Billy.
Oh.
Either way, we should take the money as evidence.
That doesn't sit well with me. I wash my hands of this.
What's he gonna spend it on? Black powder and booze.
Well, he's got all the booze he could ever drink. But black powder, yeah.
So
I suppose if I have to find a silver lining in this, if you take away his money, he won't be able to buy more black powder and won't be able to do damage.
I mean, does he have a
Sure.
shortage of black powder?
He definitely doesn't have a shortage of moonshine, but there's only, so much black powder you can blow up.
that's a fair point.
Yeah.
How are there other barrels of black powder, or is it literally just barrels of
You
moonshine?
look around, there's easily 30-40 barrels of moonshine, like massive fermenting barrels of moonshine. And as you look around trying to find more, you sort of stumble across this trapdoor. And when you lift this trapdoor up, there's a ladder leading down, and as you sort of look down into that sort of cellar, there are easily a good another 30-40 barrels. Some of them look slightly different from the rest, and they do have a lot of like tracings of like black powder lying around the bottom of them.
Oh, okay.
Why is
Literal
he so
fucking
well
powder
supplied?
bin.
What on earth?
So, I'm conscious that he's been paid to make a cannon fire further, but it's interesting and all, but it doesn't really get us any closer to figuring out what's happened to the Lady Catherine and Jonathan.
No, and we're not going to find out now. So,
Do you really need to impound his gold as evidence?
While you decide what you're doing, I'm going to take a quick 2 minutes to grab some more juice because I've ran out.
no
I'll be back in
worries.
2 minutes.
I mean, our other option is try and find a way to make sure that he doesn't have access to any of these high explosives while he's drunk.
Yeah,
But-
the two being in separate rooms, I think those rooms should remain locked and separated while he's in this state.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we're not going to get any further, I think. Although who knows when that cannon might come in handy.
Also, there's something really weird going on here that isn't just the Lady Catherine apparently being missing.
Yeah.
You mean that he seems to actually genuinely be some healing going on?
Some healing going on. There's half of the locals are really happy about having them here. Half of the locals absolutely hate all of them. They were supposedly all down at the camp, and then they were back at the inn. And the leader and his number 2 live in a cave that magically regrows mushrooms overnight. There's something weird going on here with all of this.
There's a lot of weirdness going on, but I'm not getting overtly evil end of the world vibes. I mean, Artemis kept saying, last night when everyone was lined up, he kept saying, there's time for salvation. So it's not like he's not preaching imminent demise for everyone.
Which makes a nice change.
It does.
Yeah.
I like a doomsday cult with a relaxed pace.
Let's look.
Kind of want to have a look at the cave.
What was that?
I'm
Sorry?
not sure that there's much more we can do with the captain.
No.
I think Magnus has got the right idea.
Okay.
Yeah, that we could probably try and separate, just see if we can kind of wedge that trapdoor or something so that drunk Billy can't get at it, but sober Billy might be able to figure out how to get the trapdoor open again.
Yeah. Again,
I'm also wondering, I'm not going to pass this information on to Billy, but I kind of wonder what would happen if you dope the black powder with the moonshine. Is it strong enough that would increase the the power of the powder? From that tinkery side of things, I'm interested. Should have tried that when Billy was out the room. Damn it.
Out of character, I can tell you that it might not work because I watched a whole video about it. I'll send you a link when we're done.
Okay, that's good to know.
The modern rogue provides many interesting videos. But whether it would work here is a whole different story.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get much from the captain. Can we at least... is there a padlock we can put on that trap door?
I mean, he'll just cut through it. He'll just, kick the door open.
He'll just fire the cannon at it.
Oh my god,
God.
Fire the cannon into a room full of black powder.
Christ.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
things would go further.
Aye, him. Okay.
Alright. So, as you're debating what best to do, you hear the distant sound of the clock in the town square sounding, as in the bells ringing. It is now getting into the afternoon. Your choices are: you can stay with Billy if you want, as he drunkily tries to fire his cannon. You can go back to the town square, or you notice off to the side there are a bunch of people looking like they're with carts and stuff. They're making their way down the edge of one of the sides of the thing. It looks like the tide is out, and basically the rocks are all dry now, so there's some scrounging to be done.
Well, there were some shipwrecks as we came in, so...
True.
What do you want to do?
I don't think we're going to get anything else out of Billy.
I don't think
Would
so.
the lady stoop herself to scrounging shipwrecks?
Depends on how hard she's fallen on, or how hard she's fallen. I mean, given that the economy of this island seems to be knackered, I don't know if that finery would buy you much. That there's nothing to be bought.
Or what if they were on one of the boats and didn't make it?
Oh.
Yeah,
Because no one on the island seen them.
Thanks.
If we
Ah,
found
fat
any
little
of
kid.
their jewellery,
Yeah, I think we should probably, go along with the foraging parties and see what's out there.
Yeah. We can scrounge up some razor clams or something. Make ourselves lunch.
Alright. So you may... Sorry, I was laughing at you. You make your way You follow these groups as they head down towards the rocks. The rocks are all they're massive rocks, but you can tell now the tide's out. It's barely maybe mid-shin level water, but you can see there are 2 or 3 ships that have completely run aground. They haven't sunk, but they're kind of locked in place. And there are people slowly climbing their way down off the ship now the tide's out. There are just piles of like wood and sails and cloth and just stuff and possessions just lying around everywhere. What do you want to do?
Have a look and see if any of the people resemble Lady Catherine and Jonathan.
Okay.
Yeah, hop up on top of one of the rocks and scan around the scroungers and the people disembarking the ships.
Okay. You stand up and look around. There are most of the people who look like they're climbing off the ships look like they're in they look mostly like common folk. They look like they don't have much finery to their name. A couple of them still cling to like you know, boxes and chests and bags as they try and get down with it. And as you're sort of looking around, you hear this, "Excuse me." And as you look around, you say, "I'd like to get down now." And you look up and see someone in like almost like very fine purple robes, with a very kind of massive bouffant hair, standing looking down at you from what looks at the top deck of the ship. What would you like to do?
I don't want to
Yeah,
just bluntly come out and shout, "Are you Lady Catherine?" You know, so,
We'll offer to help.
yeah, so you know, I take it the kind of commoner folk they're all kind of streaming over, like kind of nets coming down from the midships, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're all climbing down cargo nets and stuff like that. It seems that this person doesn't want to do something so unladylike as to climb down a cargo net.
I'm trying to think of how else we can get her off.
And as you start looking, go, "You cat person, please, could you assist one?"
Basically, how?
There's a couple of. I mean, I'm dexterous, but I'm not exactly strong. I don't think I could carry her down. I mean, yeah, I could, you know, could scramble my way up to her and you know, say, "Oh, well, how can I help?" I mean, the net seems to be the only way off the ship at the moment, my lady.
We offer you a rope.
Oh, I don't have any rope on me. Have you got rope?
I do.
I mean, that's maybe even less dignified. Just tying a rope around her, just letting her down.
Lowering her down.
I mean, I do have a decent net that we could use. It might be a little bit easier for her than
Like a VIP net.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll construct a pulley system. Get her to stand in the net and be lowered down.
We can try anyway.
"This is most undignified."
Well, your
Yes,
other
well.
option is to stay on the ship until you starve.
"Oh, but this ship's so creaky."
Right.
"Look," and she sort of pushes a light weight on one thing and you hear this of a one board. "I could not live with such a creak."
I mean, if you want to stay on the ship, I could oil the creek.
Then please, avail yourself of our services and come down.
Okay. "Oh, I need my son to come with me."
Oh, hello.
And at this point, you see what I can only describe as a ball of a child.
There we go.
Comes running over and gets out of breath from running about 10 meters.
The
Jonathan,
royal potato.
Jonathan, don't be doing that. You'll get dirt under your fingernails. Don't be doing that.
I look at the two tabaxi, like...
It's got fucking easier.
I mean, yeah, we found them, but they've only just got here. They've not had a chance to be kind of disillusioned by the island and see that there's 2,000 people here. She already doesn't like the fact that she's having to use a cargo net to get off the ship. I can't imagine she's going to be amused at having to share an inn with hundreds of other people.
Did the assistant to the Lord tell us how long it had been since she'd left?
He did not tell you.
No, he did not.
That's an embuggerance, because it's awfully strange that we got here a day earlier.
I mean, the ship was already wrecked when we got here.
You do
Yeah.
know.
Did
You
is
do
the
notice that.
ship-
You do notice that less people are getting off this ship than on every other ship. It looks like this ship has been here a bit longer.
They're the last ones to come off because she wasn't made to feel special enough.
I mean, I know you've said the ships are kind of wedged in place. Are they damaged, and are they no longer seaworthy? Can we see if they're?
They're very damaged. As in, like, the only reason that they're not sunk is there's nowhere to sink to.
I mean, so she's not going to want to get off the ship into like shin deep water.
But
I'm
you,
going to say I do have.
you are noticing as you look up the trader and Pethel seem to be like slowly ripping the wood and cloth off the other ships into carts.
I was going to say I do have a crowbar. We could try and open up the side of the ship and make a door for her.
How long have we got before the tide starts coming back in?
About 3-4 hours.
We could put her together a ramp with some of that wood that's on the in the carts.
We probably could in that time.
Yeah, I mean I've got a hammer, iron nails, and a crowbar. I reckon we could set something up where we could tear bits of the hull off, make an opening for her to get out, and some kind of ramp system that she could get out onto the rocks without getting wet.
I have a.
And we have a whole
climber's
bag of
kit.
someone else's money to buy the wood from them with. So
Why buy it? We can just rip our own off the ship.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's take it off the ship. I also have like a climber's kit and stuff if we need anything that's higher up to get pulled down. So I imagine that we can.
Could we send you up with your climber's kit, take some of the sails off, and then create some kind of emergency chute to get off?
Yeah.
So my lady, exits are to your left.
Let's try that. My dexterity
Yeah.
is not amazing. However, I have cloven hooves. I'm sure I can manage to climb some rigging.
Okay.
Are you going to make me roll for that?
I think considering you're not rushed, you can probably take your time and you're probably fine. So no, you don't need to roll for that.
Yay. Thank you.
Since there's no like pressure of time at this stage.
So I think we can use the tinkering. I can we can tie the sail, part of the cloth from the sails to the what's left of the upper deck, and explain to her that this is a very fast and innovative way. None of this undignified clambering down ropes. A simple hop, and then you land on the rocks, and it'll also it'll mean that your son won't have to exert himself. He can slide down as well onto the rocks to safety.
Okay.
you'll find it fun.
Most exhilarating.
Okay. So you start building this thing. All the way through, you hear the occasional butt in from the lady, like, "Oh, that looks a bit sharp over there. That looks very. What if one cut oneself on that part? Oh, that would be. Oh, I couldn't. Oh, the thought of blood. Oh."
Oh no, there's a healer in town. You be right.
And you also notice Jonathan is literally just standing there with basically it looks like an entire fist up his own nose. Just sort of idly just standing there.
Lovely boy.
Yep.
Takes after his dad. Thinking about it though, that'll be a way to convince Jonathan to go back home. Hey, Jonathan, you know there's no food on this island. there's no hogs or wine here. You're going to be having mushroom soup and that's it.
Oh, mushrooms.
I hope you like a vegetarian diet, young man.
So, over the course of the next about half an hour, you manage to build this somewhat stable structure, so she can get down to the rocks. She still has one of you has to sort of lead her by the hand, and she makes a very over-the-top performance about shimmying down this structure, whereas Jonathan just walks down, as I said, with one hand basically just wedged up his nose. And as you get her back to the ground, the tide is slowly beginning to start coming back in at this point. And she goes, "Oh, well, now we are safe. I need to meet this Artemis that I have heard so much about."
Oh yeah, we know Artemis. We've met him and received our salvation.
Oh, is he as beautiful as they say?
I can't really say I was noticing that kind of thing.
Oh, well.
Striking.
Striking, certainly.
But I'm not sure what accommodations you expected there to be on the island.
Oh, I'm sure I'll make do. You take my bags, I'll go on ahead. And she just begins to walk up the beach, with her fat son just sort of waddling after her. As you just look into the ship, no sign of any bags at all.
Yeah, no, fuck that. We're just gonna follow her.
It's already coming in.
Yeah.
I'm not getting trapped out in these rocks.
Might have gone back for the bags if she'd attempted to tip, but no.
Okay. So you follow her back, and she walks over to one of the other carts and goes, "Oh, this is delightful. You're putting things in a wheeled box. I mean, don't you think that wheeled box could be better used for things like, I don't know, transporting the finer people around?"
Oh, I really don't like her. She can stay here.
But at this point, you see the tabaxi, the innkeeper, looking at her going, "Oh, you want a lift? Oh, for only 20 gold, I'll give you a lift anywhere, my dear." "Oh, that sounds like a bargain. There's some servants that are bringing my bags. Ask them for funding." And she just hops into the cart. "Come along, Jonathan." As the child sort of flails his way to get onto the cart.
Did we overhear any of that? Are we too far away?
You just about heard it on the wind.
Can I want to shout petal?
But he goes, I see your servants here. I didn't realise they were your servants. Of course, I'll just go and ask them for that 30 gold.
Oh, that jumped in price.
Hey, what, Petal? See if we give you 50 gold. Can we pick where she goes?
The Pearl just walks and goes, "Yeah, of course. Where do you want to take her?"
I'll reach into Billy's coin purse.
Petal looks at a pile of gold with wide eyes and just goes, Yep, where do you want to go?"
Yep. Perfect. Where do we want her to go? Somewhere quiet, out of the way, and not too far from port. I don't know, is there any good enclosed spaces? Maybe not enclosed spaces that we can take up to. Somewhere where we'd be alone. We have words with the lady.
At this point, Petal's eyes are just still focused on the money and goes, "Alone? And just getting into...
I mean, the blacksmith seemed to have some empty rooms. I mean, he wasn't amenable to opening them up, but maybe we ask him for a room for just a quick chat-at.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
it is getting
Good.
into the evening by the time you've got this up, so we'll just do the evening slot for where you go. You can go back to the town square, or you can go to the farm. Where'd you like to go?
There's gonna be a lot of people at the farm.
Yeah, the town square will be quieter, but
Yeah.
And isn't Lysander likely to be in the town square?
Yes.
he might be. But it depends if he's going out to this second ceremony that they're doing out at the farm now.
Yeah.
So my two thoughts would be, if we want to try talking her down from this position that she's got herself into, because she doesn't really seem to have thought this through, take her to the town and have a quiet word with her while everyone's off at the ceremony. If we want to try going down the route of, right there, you've had your salvation, away home with you, or get them to get her to the stage of, right, Jonathan's had salvation, and now wouldn't it be great to send him back and be the ruler with him being saved? Then farm. So I don't know which you reckon would be the thing.
I think farm might give us a better chance of either managing to convince her to send the son back, or horrifying her so much about the conditions.
True.
Or even finding out what is going on this weird little island.
Yeah. As
Well,
much as the money is good, there is a mystery afoot.
It feels very like the locals. The mayor refused to be particularly helpful for the locals, so they found a way of turning it into a cult centre. Brian happened to come upon someone who had some healing powers and went, "Oh, I know what we can do with this."
Just waiting for someone to get stuffed in a fucking wicker, man. So yeah, let's.
Farm's the right place for that. And she
Yeah.
did want to see Artemis.
She did. So
Artemis.
yes. Yeah, let's go for the farm.
We'll try
Okay.
that.
You go to the farm. Okay. So you give Petal the money. You tell him that you want to drop her off at the farm. Petal just nods enthusiastically. Chucks a couple more boards into the back of the cart, narrowly killing Jonathan. And avoiding killing Jonathan even. And then you head off towards the farm. As you arrive at the farm, it's still early evening and they're still building the stage. Brian is there brewing the soup and sort of chopping mushrooms. You see, as you arrive, you see a bunch of people just slowly arriving and sort of setting themselves up where there were crops. And you see a very angry looking farmer yelling at a couple of people to get off his land. What do you want to do?
Should we try and talk to the farmer?
It seems like his land's kind of been invaded. It seems like maybe Brian didn't ask before volunteering the farm as the location for the next ceremony.
Yeah.
But that's also not our problem.
True, but it just means that, he's probably not going to be in much of a divulgatory mood.
Yeah. I mean, I vote that we try and catch up with the lady and see how she's doing.
Okay.
Now that our eyes have been opened to the conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And she's currently wandering around going, "Oh, it's so rustic!"
Oh god, that's going to wear off quick.
Just wait until she tries the soup.
Oh no, she'll like it though. You liked it.
It wasn't that bad.
Now, at the time you said you enjoyed it, and you're very chill after. Oh, you were very chill afterwards. She might be chill afterwards. She might, come down off of that high horse for a little bit. Maybe we can talk to her.
Worth a
We
shot.
need to make sure that fat kid doesn't eat too much soup.
Well, I mean, it seems to be portioned out, so
And it's mostly water at this point.
Yeah.
And don't things usually affect you according to, like, body mass?
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
fine. Well, we just need to make sure
Yeah.
to feed him lots of water and fill him up with that instead.
Yeah.
He won't be happy about it, but
All right.
should keep him off some of the mushroom soup.
All right. So what you did? I said there's There's the farmer who looks like he's shouting at people. There's Brian who seems to be having an in-depth discussion with a bunch of other people, and there's a stage being built.
Yes, we. Do we actually want to talk to Catherine though? Do we want to deal with her?
You want to just kind of
Like-
observe her and just let her see, just keep an eye on her, see what's happening.
Maybe
I
ask
mean,
Brian if he needs any help.
Yeah, I definitely agree that waiting until Catherine and her kid are high before breaching any kind of serious topics with them might be a good idea. So, yeah, let's ask Brian if he needs a hand.
All right. You walk over to Brian. At this point, you hear, "Well, he's got loads of barrels of fresh water at his house. Well, we don't have any left, so yeah, all right. I don't like it, but yeah, get them for tomorrow." "Yeah, we'll do, Brian. We'll do." Right. He turns. "Oh, welcome. Glad to see you all again. How are you all doing?"
Well, thank you. Yourself?
"Oh, getting on. Just chopping the mushrooms for tonight. Would you like some?" And he just offers a fresh mushroom to you.
I pass it to Magnum.
What kind of mushroom am I looking at?
You recognise this one as one that you definitely could, as you sort of an understanding of nature and mushrooms as you do. That definitely seems to be the one that would have given you the feeling of feeling full and hunger, like feeling full and less hungry.
Oh. But not the hallucinogenic one.
No.
Excellent. Yeah, a couple of those for each of us, please.
All right. So he just passes the couple to you, and it just carries on chopping the rest and throwing them into this massive pot.
So, who's not sharing their water?
Oh, well, the problem with living on a small island is you get through a lot of water quickly, and the wells apparently dried up. But it's fine. We've found a solution around it. The soup's not going to go off. Don't worry about that.
Well, I mean, we were just curious. It seems strange that there would be someone who's hoarding goods away from everyone else. I mean, I assumed this was a commune of sorts.
He's a strange bastard. Don't worry about it.
I'm wondering, is it Billy? Because some of the barrels were
Not
they'd say
water.
that some of them were not water and some of them were different.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there was barrels of moonshine, black powder, and fresh water, and they're going to steal the fresh water from a drunk armed man.
Well, wouldn't be Captain Billy, would it?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a strange one. He still thinks he's out on the sea and needs to have barrels of fresh water all the time. He's a weird bastard, is Billy. I mean, he's not drinking his own piss anyway.
There's no great way to say this, Brian, but I don't think those are freshwater barrels. I suspect he's not seen fresh water in quite a while. It's certainly clear, but I think from what we were able to ascertain, it might be moonshine.
He just looks at you and goes, "Oh, well, that would definitely give a different flavour, wouldn't it? I'm sure it'll be
Based off of what we
fine.
saw Billy, it's certainly...
I'm sure it'll be fine. And I'm sure, David and Tom will know what they're doing. They won't drink moonshine. They'll test it first. I'll make sure of it."
Is it also wise to, bother Captain Billy with his small arsenal of cannonballs?
Well, I mean, he's surprisingly mobile for someone that uses a cannon. Well, there's not really much other options, is there? I mean, there's some down by the port, but that's a lot further away.
Yeah. That's fair. I'm sure we could arrange for someone to deliver fresh water from the port, rather than risking two of your friends.
Well, I mean, if you're up for that, then that's fine. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Excellent. Petal.
And Mila Tabaxi said, yes, I see that bag of gold still there. Yes.
Yeah, dig into Billy's bag of gold. Would you be able to arrange a delivery of fresh water from the port?
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yep, totally. Yep.
How does 20 gold sound?
Oh, per barrel? Yes. Per barrel, yes.
Per trip. So how many barrels can you fit in a...
I could probably get maybe 2, maybe
3?
4, maybe 4 if there's the money suited it.
Fine. Yeah. I'll make a show of not wanting to part with my money, but it's not my money, so...
That's good. When, do you need it for tonight?
Brian, do we need it for tonight?
No. Tomorrow, though. We'll be about here tomorrow. If you can bring it around then, that'll be great. I can tell Tom and Dave not to bother Billy.
That would be for the best.
All right.
Yeah, I will. Yes, I'll pay Peril for our services and and just make sure that the water is delivered tomorrow morning.
Oh, will do. It just rushes off to our cart. At this point, you hear I say, that's a soup pot. And Lady Catherine walks over and goes, that's a mighty big soup pot. I mean, can't imagine that's good for anyone. I mean, look at the size of it. I mean...
No, Lady Catherine, this is for everyone. This isn't one person's. Everyone has the same food here.
Oh, I'm sure Jonathan could easily eat one of this size. I mean, that would have made meal times a lot easier.
I'm sure he could. Yes, it's a pleasant little mushroom stew. Why don't you and Jonathan take a bowl and find somewhere to sit to enjoy the show?
Brian sort of looks at you a little bit quizzically and goes, it'll be a little time yet, but I've got one here. He sort of winks at you, and he goes, here you go, ladyship, you just have a quiet night there, and here's one for your boy. Oh, wonderful. Does it have to have mushrooms in it? Well, yeah. Oh, well, I suppose you can't help some things. Jonathan, you have to eat your mushrooms. At this point, the boy just gives a very sort of crestfallen look at the plate. And you go, come on, Jonathan, eat your mushrooms.
It's very tasty. I had some last night.
Oh. So, she goes off and starts eating. What are the rest of you going to be doing?
I'm going to turn around and say, Brian, what the fuck was that wink?
I just gave her something. Don't worry about it. She'll just be, well, let's just see. She'll be less up her arse in a couple of minutes. Don't worry about that.
Please tell me you didn't give that to the kid as well.
Oh, you'll be fine. I was raised on these things. Nothing bad happened to me.
I mean, I do trust that coming from you more than I do Captain Belly, so...
Well, true.
Oh, we just lost Dragon?
Yeah, she said she had a power cut.
Oh, right, okay. No problem.
Oh, dang.
So, we may have a few minutes yet.
That's fine.
So I kind of, very much want to keep an eye on them. Because, that is essentially, I know that you have stolen a big bag of gold from Captain Billy, however, that is our legitimate meal ticket walking around.
Yeah.
As you're sort of having this discussion a couple of minutes later, you hear I've not felt like this since I was a girl! And you look up and you see Lady Catherine doing what I can describe as barn dancing with another passing person.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll give her a minute to enjoy that. How's Jonathan doing?
Jonathan seems to be still eating his food, but then staring strangely at all the crops and that are growing by the farm.
Oh god, no. We start beasting into raw corn.
So
I mean, I don't know how to talk to children at the best of times, so, you know, I don't want to talk to him and just say to him, do you know what? Do you know what? That's all you're getting. There's nothing here for you. I suppose, yeah, I want to kind of talk to Magnum before we go over to Lady Catherine and say, you know, right, what angle are we taking here? Do we want to try the angle of, you know, get redemption and then send your son back to be the leader of the land with redemption? Or do we want to wait and see what our response to the ceremony is?
My main concern would be that, like, most religions don't tend to be one and done, right?
Yeah.
You're exempted for the sins that you've accrued up to that point. But a little kid of his constitution will most likely have, you know,
Like father, like son, he's going to get
a
into
number of
the...
sins daily.
Mhm.
So whether or not she believes that that is enough, or she may decide to stay here with him, but the likelihood of that is... I would say that she would be disgusted, but she definitely seems a bit airheaded. So she may not even notice for a while.
I was going to say, we might have shot ourselves in the foot here, because now that she's high as a kite, she's happy with the situation for the moment. We need to wait till now. We need to wait till she's coming down and realizes, oh, hang on, this place is a bit overcrowded. There's no indoor privies.
Yeah. But, you know.
So we want to kind of play it by ear then and see what she makes of the ceremony.
Yes. And here's hoping that it doesn't get attacked by another cannonball.
So the thing goes on, and over the course of the next little while, you see Lady Catherine just continue to dance and sing and basically be very enjoying everyone else's company. And Jonathan is just being surprisingly still, but then again, he didn't seem to move much earlier, so yeah. As we go to the next time slot, do you want to stay at the farm? Do you want to go to the town square? Yeah, basically just here at town square is probably the easiest to.
I don't think there's much happening in the town square.
If everything, everything moved to the farm for the ceremony, but then all the people would have went back to their lodgings at the town square. Do we know what happened to Lady Catherine when it came time for lodgings at the end of the...
She's not requested this yet. She's currently out of tunely singing along with a local song.
Who's still at the farm? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I reckon staying at the farm is going to be our best bet. Oh, we might have a dragon.
You do
Hey.
have a...
Yay! We're deciding our next moves.
I see. So far.
So the yeah, I was going to say just that Lady Catherine has had one of the mushrooms that gives you the warm, glowy feeling. She's
She had multiple of the mushrooms, I think. But
she's get very into it. She's currently singing and dancing with the locals. Jonathan's not doing much. He hasn't moved a lot. I've got a steel mirror. Can I just hold it in front of Jonathan, make sure he's still breathing?
Yep. You hold it in front of Jonathan, he is still breathing fine. As you hold it in front of him, he just takes it slowly from you and starts taking it slowly towards his mouth.
No. That's not for eating.
so he's fine.
Basic instincts are still kicking in.
Yeah.
Not so much fine, maybe as normal.
Yeah.
Normal
Yes.
for him.
Yeah. Yeah, so our options are to either head back to the town square or stay here for the remainder of the ceremony. By I think if our actual meal ticket is staying here, then we should probably stay here.
Okay.
Everyone agree?
Yep, I would say stay with the Lady Catherine and
Okay.
let that play out.
As you stay at the farm, the farmer storms off in rage towards the town square. Artemis again appears. He starts wandering around shaking everyone's hand, occasionally bopping someone on the head with his little bag. Then he goes up on the very creaky newly made stage, and once again he talks for about an hour and a half, 2 hours about basically just not being a cunt to each other.
I mean, it's a good start.
Yep. And after he's done that again, he goes, right, well, it's come to that time, Brian. You had something to give out to someone, didn't you? And Brian's like, oh yeah. We've had this small set of scales made for Denise to thank her for all the wood she gave us for building the camp. Denise is the town trader. You know, everyone should visit her little store. It's good. It's a good little thing. So thank you, Denise. Here you go. Here's your scales we had made for you. And there's a sort of general sort of light applause. Throughout the applause, you keep hearing, oh, I say, this is marvelous.
Do the scales look as high quality as the sword did?
Yes.
Where are they finding the craftsmen to do this?
Could be the blacksmith, but he doesn't seem happy that, they were in town.
And is he cranking these things out in one day?
True.
Well, it's time for the book then, everyone. And Artemis walks over again. He rubs his hands together, turns the page of the book, and again there's a snap, like a wax seal breaking, and the book starts glowing. And someone in the back, the book's on fire! The book's on fire! Someone, it's comfortable here. I'm just going to sit down. Oh, look at the stars. I've never lain on the floor before.
You mentioned previously that there's a snap, like a wax seal breaking.
Mm-hmm.
The book's the glow stick.
Would I be able to use alchemy to figure out if there's a possible something else going on here?
You could, yeah.
Like,
well, from your knowledge, it could easily be something that causes glowing.
I rolled a 7, so let's not even bother.
It's all about glowworms, you know that.
Yeah. Like, so it could easily be something faked, but yeah.
All right.
Not 100% certain.
Well, as the day draws to a close, and everyone kind of goes their own way, Artemis yet again tells anyone that wants absolution just to wait in line, and you notice Lady Catherine and Jonathan waiting in line. Eventually they get to the front, and Jonathan gets bopped in the head, and Catherine gets bopped in the head. She goes, "You've messed my hair!" Even though her hair is now very thickly caked in mud. Oh, I think Dragon's away again.
Oh no.
Hey, that might be restarting Discord, I'm not sure. But yes, so at that point we go to the next time slot. You go back to wherever you slept the night before. Again, it's a kind of dry, warm night, so you can just sleep out wherever you were. The next morning, you wake up and you can go back to the lighthouse, you can go back to the town square, or you can go to... Actually, no, this is the lighthouse or town square, sorry. I keep forgetting that one slot I had is separate things and I've merged them.
I mean, our best bet is probably going to be the town square to find Lady Catherine. I can't imagine she'll be kicking about the lighthouse. The less time spent with Turpentine Belly, the better.
Okay.
So...
See, that's the thing.
Hello, Dragon?
Hello?
Oh no.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay.
I have no idea what my computer's playing at.
It's fine. It looks... When you tried to put your webcam up, it looked like it was a... the webcam symbol of usually like if you've got streaming software up at the same time.
No, it was the OBS couldn't find the camera.
Oh.
And then when I tried to fix it, it restarted the computer.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well,
So
that's,
I'm just not going to touch anything
that's totally
until the
fine.
end of the game.
That's
Probably
totally
for the
fine.
best.
Yeah. Alright, so you head to the town square. At this point, when you arrive, you see a bunch of people just sort of wandering around. The queue for the inn is now massive. You see that Petala seems to is still built in the process of building more houses attached to the side of the inn. Some of them have already been like letting people in, and they look like they're literally like you could blow a strong wind and they'd all fall over. But Petala's still charging quite a lot of money for each of them for people going by.
A literal shanty town.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
And you see a sort of rather old-looking gentleman wandering around with sort of sort of short grey curly hair, and he seems to be like nodding appreciatively at everyone when they walk past. And you see Brian talking to the blacksmith. What do you want to do?
I assume that the old man is
For the Lysander.
Lysander, yes. We could see if we can figure out any more about what's going on from him. We could try and eavesdrop on Brian and the blacksmith. Or we could see if we can find Lady Catherine and talk to her about how she's feeling this morning. I don't know. Any suggestions?
I mean, I'm concerned that so you know we could laser focus in on finding the Lady Catherine and convincing her and Jonathan to head back, or even just convincing Jonathan to come back as the the new regent in waiting. However, the butler right at the very start did mention that this was talking about the end of the world. No one here is talking about that.
No, they're not.
So Dragon's right. Something is weird going on. And that you're given the hard sell to get you to the island, and then once you're here, they're soft selling it. It's normally the other way around, that you'll be drawn in with the everything's great, don't be a dick to each other and have some healing and salvation, and then when you get there, it's all fire and brimstone. They're doing this back to front, and no one's talking about it. So I don't know if it's Brian seems to be just dealing with the day-to-day and the minutiae of running this island with or at least the religiosity side of things. It might be worth having a word with Father Lysander and see if he's got any other take on things. Maybe a bit less hippy-dippy. He maybe hears the fire and brimstone side.
Could be.
Yeah, worth a shot.
Alright. So as you sort of look into the town square, you hear, "Oh, hello there. Yes, hi. I'm Father Lysander. I hope you are having a wonderful day."
Hello, Father.
Hello there, my child. How are you? How are you faring this fine spring morning?
Oh, very well. And
Even though
yourself?
it's autumn.
Oh, 4 seasons in a day, this island.
Well, yes, it's fair come about since all of the wonderful people have started joining us here.
Indeed, we're fairly new here as well.
Oh, well, welcome to the island. Has anyone shown you around properly?
Oh, well, we saw the first ceremony we saw was in the town square, and so we've seen out to the farm, and we've seen the lighthouse. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you've practically seen the whole town then. The only place you've not seen, I suppose, is the mayor's house. But, well, I suppose he doesn't really like visitors, does he?
No, we were hearing that he's he doesn't like all the people that have arrived.
He's a very traditionalist man, is the mayor. He doesn't tend to like anyone coming round, seeing his property. He very much likes to think of himself as above the general populace. I have to include myself in that. And as he tries to talk again, you just hear a, "Oh, my head!" And he's staggering out from somewhere in front of you, wearing a substantially less than she was before, with her hair still caked in mud, Lady Catherine.
Ah.
Oh, where am I? Oh, my child, what has become of you? And he walks over and he takes off his outer robe and puts it over her shoulders. No, we can't be allowing this indecency in our town. What became of you, my child? Where did your clothes? I remember playing a game in the inn with someone. I don't remember what happened, though. Oh, my child. Well, come on, let's get you away from here. What is your name? I'm Lady Catherine. Oh, Lady Catherine. Oh, well, maybe the mayor might help then. Excuse me, everyone. I'm going to take this young girl up to the mayor's house. See if I can get her some sort of shower. She seems to have smelled that she slept in a puddle.
One moment, Father. She has a son.
Oh.
Do we know where he is?
My dear, you have a child? Where is he? I don't know where Jonathan is. He was so happy last night. Someone gave him a loaf of bread.
Mother of the Year.
Well, should we... What do you think? Should we look for the son now, or should I take her up first and come back down? What do you think?
You take her up to the mayor and we'll have a shifty about for the son.
We'll start the search. She's in no fit state to be looking.
Oh, right. Well, yes, I'll speak to us all later then. Okay, come on, my dear. Just guides this very hungover-looking woman up the hill towards the big house looking over the town.
That
So
does make one part easier.
I was going to say, we now have that Jonathan's been separated out. If we can find him, just bundle him on a ship and let's go.
Stick him in the biggest bag we've got.
Right. What are you going to do now?
I believe we're going to start a small search party.
Yeah, I guess we need to look for Jonathan. I think the first place I want to look is in the bakery.
Okay.
Or the general store.
You open the bakery door. There's about 12 people now moving around in there making loaves of bread. And the baker walks over and goes, "Did you the one that told Artemis I needed help?"
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you very much. He sent lots of people down. We've been able to bake bread all morning now. It's been wonderful.
Excellent. I'm so glad it helped.
Hang on, I better get back. And he runs over to pull more bread out of the oven.
Well, he's not currently in here.
No.
Although he might think that the general store might have something tastier than bread.
Burger.
Let's try the general store.
Well,
And then I think we'll need to just, organise a mass search party.
Okay. You go over to the general store, and you see the woman operating. And goes, "Hello there. I'm Denise. I think I saw you all at the gathering last night. You wouldn't happen to know anything about mystical creatures biting holes in houses, would you?"
Mystical creatures?
What?
Well, and she points just outside her front door, where there's several large teeth marks, obvious bite marks all the way down one of the wooden bars outside her house.
Do they look humanoid-sized bite marks?
They do look humanoid-sized bite marks.
Oh, Jonathan's got the munchies. He tried eating my mirror. He tried eating my mirror. He probably thought the chocolate was baked goods, or that he thought
Yeah.
the door bars were baked goods.
Yeah.
Denise, I don't know about creatures, magical creatures, but you know, it's certainly something that bears investigation. Are there any more of these marks?
Oh yeah, they sort of go round this house here, and he sort of follows you around and goes, and then they go off that way, and she points off towards the woods.
Oh, good.
Oh,
We're going to need to follow these, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we follow them, I
Mhm.
have a spyglass. Can I use it and look towards the woods?
Yes. Yeah. Roll awareness.
Non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. As you scan through the woods, you don't see Jonathan, but you do see a youngish-looking boy brandishing something tight to his chest, running through the woods.
There's a different kid.
Yeah.
That's a bit
I've seen a
weird.
lot of kids.
Yeah.
Hi.
They did say there was a bunch of kids that were here, but none that were particularly rotund until
Yeah.
Jonathan got here.
This one
Yeah.
looks. This one looks teenage.
I mean, they
Okay.
might have an idea. They might have seen Jonathan.
Definitely worth a look.
We should probably go ask them, shouldn't we?
I mean, we can head in
Yeah.
that direction, but following or keeping an eye on these bite marks just in case they veer off in any particular direction.
Yeah, I think we will essentially be tracking the bite marks.
Yeah. I have tracking. Yeah, we'll thank Denise for her time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if she's got anything for lunch.
Okay. You ask her for a couple of things. She gives you some small, simple pieces of dried food, and you make your way into the woods. As you make your way in the woods, you hear the sound of stumbling and then a very solid, like whap, like something hitting a tree really hard.
Okay. Stick Spells is going to nip off into the woods and do something private, but I'll still be able to hear you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to go and investigate, see if we can find out what made the large noise.
Okay. So you wander around the path, and as you go off to the side, you find there's a young boy wearing an ill-fitting robe that had been up and over his head. He seems to have tripped in a tree root and smashed face first into the tree. Lying on the ground next to his unconscious body seems to be the book, and you recognise the book from the one that Artemis had.
Oh.
That is interesting.
I think we might need to wait until Six is back before we tend to the teenager's wounds. So, in the meantime, give me that book.
Okay.
Fair enough. I mean, I can probably do some very basics for the wound. So I will attempt that.
Okay.
Hopefully not do
You
any
look
harm.
him over. He looks like he's got a very big, large, a large lump on the front of his face. He looks like he's literally just tripped and gone hard face first into the tree and knocked himself out.
Ouch.
He'll be fine.
He will. He's gonna feel terrible when he wakes up.
All right. You want to look at the book?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. The book is full of a very old script. Do you have linguistics? No,
I do.
Is it linguistics?
Yes.
Yes, it's linguistics. Yes. So yes, roll linguistics.
Okay. 10.
Welcome back. 10.
Yes.
You look over. It's a very old script. You notice a lot of repetition. You notice the constant bring up of the number 7. Obsession almost with the number 7. And it seems to be describing various events and basically stories and fables.
So I'm
We'll
going to be
we'll
useless.
catch you up. Oh.
I was going to say I'm going to be useless. Like Six likes the idea of being a healer, but has no aptitude for it. So I could basically just pat the child on the head, go there. And that's about it.
That's fair.
I guess I'm gonna like.
I was going to say I do, however, have literacy.
Literacy is what
so
I was looking for.
I could take a look at the book and see if I can glean anything more from it.
Yeah, sure. You notice that when you sort of script to the end and you notice there is one final seal holding shut the last couple of pages.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna have to take a look at that seal.
Okay.
I'm not gonna break the seal, but I'm gonna see if I can kind of poke around at it and see if I can figure out exactly what the deal is.
You start being very light and just poking around it. It doesn't. You be a little bit slightly more forceful to see if it actually will move or crack or anything. And after about a couple of minutes, even when you properly wrench, the seal doesn't break.
Okay.
So either this book can only be used by Artemis, or the seals are only able to be opened at a certain time. Because if it's a case of the seals that have already been opened are those sections are now readable, then the last section it must be opened at a later time.
I don't like the sound of either of those.
No. It also kind of butts up against Artemis saying that there's plenty of time for redemption, although he might have just been meaning plenty of time that evening. But yeah, I mean, I kind of want to ask the kid that's or the teenager that's sitting kind of hard. I take it he's not, he's just kind of sitting feeling sorry for himself here.
He's unconscious.
Oh, he's unconscious. Okay. I can't ask him much then.
Can I throw some water on him to wake him up?
Yeah.
I shall do that.
You throw water over him. He groggily wakes up. You notice the thing on his face from hitting the tree is massive and throbbing. And he can only open one of his eyes because the other one is almost closed from the swelling. And he sort of groggily looks at you and goes, ah! 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 And just starts running again into the trees.
Oh, they should have.
Well, he's a lost cause.
You hear a trip, and you hear the same thwack as before.
Oh.
God damn it.
You can't save someone from their own stupidity.
This time, we're gonna tie some rope around his feet.
I didn't want to go there, but it seems like a prudent thing to do.
Okay.
Fine. I have rope.
More difficult to wake him this time.
You get barely 50 meters away from where you are, and you find he is slumped again against a different tree. And as you tie his feet up and wake him up again, he can barely see because his eyes are almost swollen shut from the two growing lumps on his face.
Hey, we're here to help. What seems to be the problem?
What's happened to my feet?
Just to make sure you don't run off.
You've clattered yourself twice now, so we're trying to keep you safe.
Okay. He starts padding around the floor. Where is it? Where is it? I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
The nothing.
The bit?
Just nothing at all. No.
not
Nothing.
gonna get you in
I didn't steal anything. No, just gonna try and you just feel him like feeling his way around where the tree is, like he's
trouble.
trying to work out if he can move quickly away.
I never said you stole anything. What are you looking
Yes.
for?
I was gonna say I'm gonna sling a throwing knife into the tree.
Jesus, okay. I was going to say I was going to go and stand at the other side of him, so he'd run into me if he runs away.
You sling a knife into the tree. He immediately squeaks, jumps about a foot in the air, slips and lands on the ground, and knocks himself out.
God fucking damn.
So he stole the book. What is in the direction he was running from?
The woods. Oh, he was
The
running
direction
from.
he was running from is the lighthouse.
Why was it at the lighthouse then?
It could have been the direction from, like, if you keep going in that direction, you get to the caves that Artemis lives in. It seems like the kind of lighthouse caves, that would be around about the same kind of areas.
Yeah, that does make some sense.
Well, I suppose that's me making the assumption that it is some kind of sea cave that links further backwards.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the only thing that really makes sense for that.
I don't know if we're going to get much intelligible out of this kid if we try and wake him up again. Are we still seeing anything, any kind of bite marks or?
Occasionally from the trees as you walk past, there's occasional bite marks in the trees.
Do we want to sling this kid? I'll carry him. I'm not that strong, but I mean, a teenager shouldn't be too difficult. Pick him up, carry him along till he's, a bit less unconscious, and just follow these bite marks.
That may be an idea.
Okay. As you go further along, we'll just wind the time slot up and do the next one. So the next time slot is you can continue along the way you're going, which leads to the mayor's house. You can go back to the town square, or you can go to, again it's low tide, so you can go back to the wrecks.
We are carrying a very important book. How big is the book?
It's about the size of a phone book. Probably
Is
the
there
easiest
any
way to
chance
put it. Like a proper old, like big chunky phone book.
Yeah. Is there any chance we could secrete it about ourselves and not be incredibly obvious?
You
Well,
can.
all of us will have like a pack.
You
or
probably
something.
could put it in a pack or something. Yeah, it would. It would.
Yeah.
It's not big enough that it's cumbersome to hide or anything. It's big. It's big enough that if you were opening a bag and looked in, you'd see it, but it's not big enough that you can't hide it.
I'll put it in my bag for now.
Okay.
We'll cover it over with some stuff.
Are you here? I'll take my apron off. You can wrap it in my apron so that if anyone does look in, it just looks like you're carrying my apron.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Perfect.
All right.
I think we might be best served going to the mayor's. Like, it seems like something's up, and hopefully the kid will wake up by the time we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you leaving his feet tied?
I'm extending the tie to his hands.
Okay.
No. Who says we're going to come back and find him?
No, we're carrying him with us.
Oh, for
Yeah.
goodness sakes. Okay.
Well, he's clearly he's injured himself twice, and he
It's
was
not
running
safe
in
to
this
be left on his
direction.
own.
So yeah.
Right. So you continue up the path, and eventually you wind this merry way up to the mayor's house. As you get to the front gate, it's quite a grand front gate. You gently push the gate. It swings open relatively easily, and you walk up this well-kept lawn towards a sort of quite large manor house overlooking the town. As you knock on the door, you hear the sound of hushed voices inside, and then a sort of butler fellow opens the door and goes, "Can I help you?"
Excuse me, you don't recognise this young fella, do you?
He takes the and goes, "That appears to be Gerald."
Gerald?
Yes,
Excellent.
he's the young. He is Master Montague's son-in-law?
He seems to have he's done himself an injury and by running carelessly a couple of times. So we took steps to make sure he wouldn't hurt himself again. But he's in need of some assistance.
He looks like he's been thoroughly beaten up. Why is he tied up?
We don't think he was beaten up. He did run himself into some trees, then stood up and immediately run himself into another tree. This is literally just to make sure he didn't run himself into a third tree.
I see. Well, I'm afraid young Master Gerald does do that a lot. I don't know if I can be...
It's a slippery slope once he's done it the first few times.
Yeah. Could you assist me taking him into the other room? We will fetch him a cold cloth.
Of course.
Okay, so you come in and you throw Gerald down on this, not so much sofa, but kind of the equivalent, a sort of lounging chair. And
a shay-long.
A shay-long. And the butler returns a moment later with what looks like some sort of nanny, who's got quite a large cold cloth she's holding on his lumps in his head. She goes, "My goodness, this is terrible. How did he manage to bump himself so much? What did he do?"
A lot of trees.
He was running in the woods.
"Oh, Gerald, who told you not to run in the woods? You've done this before." "Oh, well, thank you for bringing young Gerald to us." At this point, you hear a I don't wish to imply, but why are there people in my house? And you look up to see a old man with a very large grey moustache, looking down with sort of beady eyes at you, going, "Why are these people in my house?"
You must be the Lord of the Manor.
Well, I suppose, Montague. What is your name?
I am Magnan, and my colleagues here, Six and Daleth, are simply concerned citizens. We found your son-in-law having bludgeoned himself half to death amongst the woods.
I see. Did he have anything on him at the time?
Not a thing.
That is excuse me a moment. Just leans down and you just hear him whispering, going, Gerald, did you get the book? Gerald! He's shaking him by the shoulder. Oh, bugger it. Well, thank you very much for bringing this. I'll just escort you back outside. Thank you very much for bringing Gerald in. No problem. Come on, back out.
We were also wondering. We were looking for an acquaintance's son who we believe may have came this way. Small, round boy.
All right. Come on, this way. He gestures through the back. When you go into a back room and you find the fellow Lysander sitting, sipping tea, looking out the window. Goes, "Oh, hello there. Good to see you all again. Lady Catherine's away having a bath. She probably needs it. She really did smell quite strongly. I can't lie." And at this point, you just hear this very grumpy voice by going, "Yes, using all my hot water."
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find her son.
She's got a son? I thought it was just another person she had with her. Oh, she does have a son, yes, a lovely boy from what she's told me, plump and full of life. You just see the sort of the expression on the old man's face, just like, ugh. So where is he? Oh, I thought he would be here by now, but he must be out somewhere. We'll find him, don't worry. Well, I've had my tea. I suppose I will join the hunt, as it were. Wherever. It's good to see you all again. How are you all doing? Have you seen the plump child anywhere?
I know we're following a trail this way, but nothing so far.
Oh, well, I hope I can... At this point, there's a sort of crash sound next door, and a high-pitched screech. And the nanny from before comes running out. Goes, "There's a monster! There's a monster in the kitchen!"
the other shoe.
Yep.
So you
We'll rush through.
you rush through to find sitting literally on the floor in the middle of the room, surrounded by various foods and jars and boxes. Jonathan shoving everything he can into his face.
Look at that. Family reunited.
Oh well, that saves another mystery, doesn't it?
Why?
Apart from what's wrong with the child.
Oh, I'm sure he's just been out on an adventure. You know how young boys are. Need to feed them a lot, then they can get out and have more adventures. Oh, I remember being a boy. Oh, all the summers I would spend.
I'll stage whistle today. What's wrong with him? Is he's high as a fucking kite?
Monstrous 10-year-old with the munchies.
Yeah, Jonathan just looks at you and you see he has pinpoint pupils and you just go, yep,
Oh,
yep, that'll do it.
Yep.
oh dear.
At this point you hear, what's he doing in my kitchen? Get out, you fat kid, out of my kitchen. That's my food.
I mean, I can't blame the mayor this time.
No.
You can take that up
He's
with the
just
lady.
broken in and eats everything.
So
I wonder.
Well, we're now kind of in we're in the mayor's house. You know, there's staff all around us. I don't think we're really in a position where we can bundle them in a sack and scarper.
No.
I'm not so sure. The mayor wants him out the house.
The mayor wants the book that we're carrying more than anything.
At this
Why?
point, a very elderly voice goes, Monty, did you get the book? That bastard child's been lying on the sofa and is taking up all this room. Did he bring the book or not? Monty, who are all of you? Why are we all in the kitchen?
If you could tell us more about the book, I'm sure we could help you look for it.
At this point, you get a very kind of pathetic, squeaky voice say, "What book?" from the old man with the moustache.
Too late. We already heard you mention a book.
Oh, bugger. Oh, right, fine. But we sent Gerald to go and steal the book from the man that's been doing all the meetings. We just thought we wanted to know what he's reading, and if we can find out what he's going to do next, we can do something with it, but it's probably going to just be a load of old cack anyway.
And that seems like an awful lot of effort to go to just to find out what he's reading. You know,
Well,
surely you could have asked anyone who'd listen.
Gerald did offer.
I really want to go outside and out of sight of them, and then break open the seal and just read all of it. And
Oh, that seems like such a horrible idea.
We
Because
also can't break open the seal.
but I'm really nosy.
I mean, I'm thinking that
If I heat a knife and then carefully put that under the seal, I can detach it without breaking it.
Well, we could use this to our advantage.
you have it in your backpack. There's not a lot I can do to stop you if you're going to do that. I think that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, you could easily sneak out, but
I mean, what we read in the book already said that there's an emphasis on the number 7, and breaking the 7th seal seems like a terrible idea.
I mean, maybe we should just go. Maybe we should just take it to Artemis and ask.
Well, could we maybe speak to Artemis and you know, it'll probably be a bit flustered that his book's gone, and ask him what the significance of it is. What was the next reading going to be?
Yeah. Because it's when they broke the seal that it put out light.
Yeah. Which means that there's something going on.
Which means that something is meant to happen at their next service. Which I assume will be this today.
Yeah, tonight.
And you know, given that there's talk, you know, this was sold to the wider world as a kind of an apocalyptic end of the world type cult, but when we got here, everyone's all touchy-feely, softly about it. There's not. If this is the last seal that's in the book,
Is it the apocalypse?
could break it. This is why I'm thinking that breaking the seal's a terrible idea. Surprise! It was actually a doomsday cult all along. Now we summon the end of the
Very
world.
sneaky. I approve.
Either way, like
Okay, yeah.
currently we have to deal with the lady, her son, and Monty. So, Monty, old chap, and I'll lay a paw on his shoulder.
Yes, what do you want?
We have business with the lady and her son. Why don't we escort them from your premises?
Well, sure. Wait, you're going to take them away? Brilliant.
Yes.
Yes. Get them out of here. Get them out of here right now. Can't get faster. Get them. Get that fat child out of here. I don't want him anymore. Get him out.
Perfect. Lady Catherine, if you would follow us, please.
At this point, you hear. At this point, you hear the sound of someone walking down the stairs, singing loudly, in a very high-pitched tone.
Perfect. Right. While I've got Monty distracted, somebody fill up a bag with food.
Yes, I shall grab a something handily accessible, like a cake or something, and just come on.
Perfect.
Okay.
Come on, Jonathan.
So the child wobbles to his feet and starts sort of padding after you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, then we'll head out to the stairs and catch Lady Catherine.
Oh, it's wonderful! I've got such nice clean clothes and my hair isn't full of mud. I can even get that taste out of my mouth now.
Wonderful. Why don't we go for a walk in the fresh air to try and see if we can improve your constitution somewhat?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, I'll just yes. Oh, Jonathan's here too. Fantastic, wonderful. Come on, Jonathan, let's go for a walk. And as you go to the door, might as well just do the next time slot. So you can stay at the manor house if you want. You can go to the farm, or you can go back to the town square. No, sorry, go back to the lighthouse.
So we think the caves are near the lighthouse.
Do we want to take the lady to the caves though, or do we want to have the lady in tow when we go and have words with Artemis about his book?
I mean, which place is Artemis going to be in?
Presumably the caves.
Yesterday afternoon he did a service in the square, didn't he?
No, was what was not the farm yesterday?
Yeah.
There was two. The farm.
Yeah, there was two. There was. Yeah.
I'm tempted to say the lighthouse and see if we can find the cave, simply because we haven't been there yet.
And I assume that he wouldn't be doing a service if he didn't have the book.
Presumably.
But then we've only seen the book at the evening service. Oh, actually, it wasn't...
No, because the first service that we went to, it cracked the book. You could see it more than us because you'd had the stew, and then the second one was at the farm.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, it wasn't Artemis that was giving the evening one, was it? Was it not the other one, Lysander?
At the farm?
He was giving the afternoon service.
No, as far as we're Lysander,
It was Artemis that did the afternoon service because we spoke to him when he wanted to go and help after the cannonball.
That was in the evening. That was the first night evening.
Yeah.
That was the evening.
Yeah.
I'm still tempted to say we try and
Actually,
look
that
for
was
the cave.
night, technically, of the time slots of morning, afternoon, evening, night.
Yeah.
That was the night time slot.
Okay. Yeah, so was it
just
not
think
the
there's
other priest who was in there?
There's something really bizarre about this cave. And Father
Yeah.
Lysander doesn't really seem to know what's going on.
No. I mean, in theory, if we speak to Lady Catherine as we're walking, We could have her wait at the lighthouse and pray to whatever gods we hold dear that nothing terrible happens to her.
We're leaving her with that turpentine belly.
Yeah. Maybe she'll be a good influence on him.
Okay.
He was a naval man, you know. I feel like he would have at least some respect for
The
a
nobility.
lady. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't we head towards the lighthouse for now, and we'll speak to Lady Catherine as we go,
Okay.
and kind of lay out
So
our
you
offer.
head towards the lighthouse. As you sort of get towards the lighthouse itself, everything's oddly quiet. The door is hanging off the hinges, and you sort of peek inside the lighthouse. None of the barrels are there anymore, and there's no sign of Billy or his cannon.
Oh heck.
A lot of barrels of moonshine, a lot of barrels of gunpowder, and a cannon have gone.
And the drunk that's crazy enough to use them.
Mm.
Oh dear.
And there was a pissed off farmer that strode purposely in the direction of town. I'm wondering if there's... Yes. Started somewhat of a counter movement against the religion here.
Well, while you decide what you're doing, I'm going to very quickly have a quick pee break. So back in 2 seconds.
No worries.
This is not great at all, is it?
So, I'm wondering... do we sidestep the question, convince Lady Catherine to get on the boat with Jonathan, get them back, take the book with us so that no seals can be broken, and just sidestep the apocalypse? Because I have a very bad sense of foreboding about this last seal in the book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely got a bit of a trumpet sound feeling, doesn't it? So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely the only book, isn't it?
Far as we know.
As far as we know, yes.
They did call it the book, which implies that there is one. I mean, we could also convince Lady Catherine that, as airheaded as she is, I'm sure if we explain that there's 40 barrels of gunpowder went missing, that hanging around isn't really going to be a great option. Something bad is going to happen.
She seems to have
No
a lot.
matter what.
You know, she seems to be a bit of a doting mother. We could appeal to the safety of Jonathan. You know, there's two very pissed off lower classes on the island somewhere, with lots of barrels of high explosive and highly flammable things between them. Maybe best to... Well, you have your salvation. Shall we just, you know, go back home and wait till, you know, go back home, have a pint, wait for this all to blow over?
Yeah, I think that might be the play. Hello.
Hello. So, what are you going to be doing?
We believe the best plan of action, now that we're here, is to talk with Lady Catherine, discuss the fact that there are several angry lower class people with a large amount of explosives.
Yes.
So her options for staying here are fairly limited. Now that her and her son both have their salvation, it might be best to just skip town, head back home, and yeah, take the book with us and get on that boat as well.
You know, we don't tell her that we have the book, that the book's coming with us, but we just, you know, we can explain to her that now that you have your salvation, you can go home. Jonathan can be next in line for ruling, and he can be a saved and wise leader. And then when we get there, we can take our reward and then get this book appraised for any kind of magical value or what have you.
Yes, but burnt. Like,
Okay.
Or burn it.
Burning it might break the seal as well.
Burning it might break the seal. Let's just make a 3-person pact to bury this book somewhere. Chuck it off the boat on the way home.
oh,
All right.
can we buy
I
a
hope
lead
it's
box
not-
anywhere?
Conversely, as much to torture us as anything,
Hmm.
what if breaking the seals is allowing something out that's pushing back the apocalypse?
Oh, that is torturous. So what if the religion's fighting against it? Because they do seem very healy, hippy-dippy, positive types.
Either way, our first course of action should be to convince Lady Catherine
Yes.
that here, no matter what happens, isn't safe.
The apocalypse is up in the air. Those barrels of gunpowder and moonshine are not at the moment. They are somewhere very much terrestrial and very much in play.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you sort of look around. Lady Catherine's like, oh, it smells very common in here when walking around the lighthouse.
Mm, certainly does, my lady. We brought you. Oh, sorry. On you go.
The reason it smells so strongly of the common types in here, my lady, is we know the occupant of the lighthouse. He's an angry drunkard of a man with access to high caliber weaponry and a lot of very dangerous chemicals. I
Ooh.
frankly don't think it's safe for you, and especially for Jonathan. Now that you've both had your salvation, you wouldn't want to immediately waste your saved beings by placing yourself in such horrible danger. Surely you would want to bring that word to others. The farmer whose land was taken to give the service, he was not so willing as yourself to be saved, and he and the former occupant of this lighthouse are not to be trifled with. I would humbly put it to you that you and Jonathan should perhaps come back with us. We can get on the boat and go back. Jonathan could be the next in line to be the ruler with his salvation, and we can wait for this situation to be resolved. Once the Captain Billy and the farmer, once they have been dealt with, then perhaps we can return and
Oh,
begin the salvation
This
anew.
sounds very dangerous. Should we just go find Artemis? He'd know what to do.
But Artemis isn't the one who is in charge of the practical things here, my lady.
Oh, but he'd know what to do. He'd. Oh, it's a terrifying thought. That. Oh.
It is a very terrifying thought, milady. That's why we thought perhaps it would be better to remove you and Jonathan from the theater of conflict until Artemis could be in danger as well. The more people we can take out of harm's way, the better.
At this point, you hear am I in harm's way? You look over in the doorway and you see Artemis just standing there looking at you, quite confused.
That saves us some time.
It does.
The caves are deep in that you talked about are just below this lighthouse. I thought you where is everything? He just looks around the house really confused.
We don't know, and it's kind of concerning.
Mm.
Not only are your barrels of supplies missing, but Captain Billy and his large cannon are also missing. That's
With
why
the cannonballs and black powder.
Oh, I see. Well, Billy is a strange one. I haven't really spoke to him. He's one of the few villagers I've not spoke to properly.
And, frankly, we're quite concerned as to where and why the captain, the cannonballs, and black powder have moved.
Oh, that is a definite a conundrum to consider.
And,
very, very flammable spirits.
He also seemed to be trying to fire the cannonball as close to the sun as possible.
Close to the sun? He just looks over it. The sun's about... It's early evening, so the sun's setting. And he's like, oh, that's an interesting one.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but we believe that the cannonball that interrupted your service wasn't necessarily an accidental shot.
Oh, I see. Well, it's not the only thing missing. My book's missing too. Someone must have taken it. Maybe it's the same person who took the barrels.
I mean, will you be able to go on with the sermon? Do you already have your sermon pre-prepared?
Oh, I have it written, yes. I have it written. The book would help, though. It would, yes. It would help with things. But, I can go on without it. It's not a problem. We can still save everyone. It's not a problem.
Okay, so, Armus doesn't seem that concerned by the lack of a book, so...
That's good, I guess.
So yeah, I mean, if
I don't know what it means.
I mean, it doesn't. I think he'd be more frantic if the cracking of that last seal would save the world, and now it's missing.
Mm-hmm. Will you be able to find your book again?
Oh, well, that's the question. I mean, I don't know whether someone's stolen it and they've taken it away. I hope they don't try and open it. Terrible things could happen.
Terrible things?
Yes, well, you know how a book's most dangerous in the wrong hands.
I didn't think there was anything dangerous in the book you were using.
Oh, it's
in your
not
sermon.
dangerous. It's just what it could do. That's the problem.
Why don't you lay that out for us? Exactly what would happen if someone were to break one of these seals?
Oh, well, if you know about the seals, and I don't worry about things. Yes, if the seal is opened by the wrong kind of person, then everything could just come crashing around. The wrong situation, the wrong time, the wrong things, all of these things together, it's an interesting conundrum, again, to use such a term. But it's like if everything, if all the things align, as it were, then everything goes safely. Whereas if everything doesn't align, then it kind of just, well, bad things happen, I guess.
And if that last seal was to remain entirely uncracked, would that count as a non-alignment, or would things just continue as they are?
Oh, if it were to be, I mean, it depends. If you're talking immediate future, then no, nothing would really happen. Over time, it would slowly wear away and then sort of dissolve on its own. That's kind of what these things are designed to do. There are
And
sort
at
of
that
time
point-
limit, as it were.
I'm gonna look at the two tabaxis and be like, I think I want to give him the book back.
I kind of want to...
Because if we bury it, or whatever, then it just means the apocalypse is gonna happen later. If he's telling us the truth.
If he's telling us the truth. That sounds like Tomorrow 6's problem. Just kick the can down the road. I'm still very much focused on convincing the Lady Catherine to exit the island. I mean, I'm wondering if we could prevail on it. Artemis, given that we now have Billy, and I think the farmer, he was less than happy when you had your sermon on his land. I think your congregants were a little heavy-footed on his crops.
Oh, but the beauty of life is seen in the plants. And unfortunately, my congregation were a little too heavy-footed. Yes,
A little. So I'm worried that the farmer and the captain now potentially bear, ill will or ill intent. Would you not say it's better that those that are saved, perhaps retreat to a place of safety until this can all be worked out?
Oh well, I mean, it's a very variable question, yes, but I think that at the end of it all, the blanket of safety that one could only offer through absolution cannot really help those who don't want to be helped, I suppose. So those who are bitter or causing anguish, as it were, they will not reach salvation, and they will have terrible things happen to them. Is all I can really say.
The issue isn't terrible things happening to them, it's terrible things happening to you via canon.
Oh,
In the
like,
immediate future.
In the tonight.
I have no fear of such things, my child.
I don't think we're going to talk this one down.
No,
Nope.
I think we just need to get Lady Catherine and Jonathan onto a boat,
On a boat.
off the island.
I was hoping
Well,
that
maybe-
appealing to Artemis would kind of say, "Oh yes, get them saved off the
Yeah.
island," while the madmen
not
are running
gonna
around with gunpowder. He's having none of it.
He's
So-
too genuinely devoted.
Do we want to give them the book back?
I want to give him the book back.
We could try and stop.
I mean, if we give him the book back, he might be able to stop the thing from going bad.
But we've already seen the book didn't provide any protection from cannon fire.
True.
Well, it didn't kill anyone.
Okay. So, for a rough
Conflicted.
layout of a plan, we get Lady Catherine and Jonathan onto a boat. One of us goes and buries the boot in the woods, somewhere relatively easy to find. We can say, oh, we saw Gerald cutting through the woods, holding something, that skinny little prick. And then hope that they'll find the book. We're already on a boat. It's not our problem.
I mean, world-ending consequences doesn't stop at the sea.
Yeah.
If it was just an island apocalypse, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we give them the book just now and get the two of them on a boat and try and stop the Captain Billy and the farmer.
I mean, we get the two of them on a boat and the internal factions can do what they like to each other.
Yeah.
We're only here for, really, the kid.
Yeah. That's true.
So I'll lay out my thinking. So my thinking started off that we were sent here because the Lady Catherine had been tempted away by a doomsday cult.
Mhm.
The person that gave us that task was didn't seem like the nicest of patrons. So
No.
who are we to say that he's particularly trustworthy? You know, he only married one of his concubines because she bore him a son and then still goes whoring. He seems like a fairly immoral person. Nothing to say that he wouldn't lie to us as well. When we get here, we find that the Doomsday Cult are actually genuinely healers. Everyone just kind of gets a pleasant vibe from them. So maybe maybe my trepidation that, we shouldn't be breaking this last seal. The people that are calling them Doomsday are kind of nasty. The people in front of us seem fairly genuine and nice. Maybe we should just give them back the book. I'm coming round to the idea of giving him the book back.
Yeah.
I just don't see that we have much other choice that has a good chance of working out well.
Yeah.
So
Fuck it. It's time to ask for absolution once again.
I'm gonna
We,
turn round and look at Artemis and slowly draw the book out of my bag.
Oh, you found my book, child. Wonderful, thank you. Please, may I?
yeah. Yes.
But unfortunately now we need to get Lady Catherine and Jonathan to somewhere that is befits their status a little more. They're not entirely comfortable with the rest of us.
He nods and goes, I understand why you do such things, my child. He gently just takes the book off you, holds it close to himself, then puts his hands in his pocket, takes out his little thing for his hand, and just gently bops you on the head one more time and goes, I forgive you for stealing my book, child.
We.
I don't
Thank
want to
you.
complicate it. I don't want to complicate it by saying, oh no, it wasn't us. It was it was Jared. We just didn't
wasn't
trust
us,
you
we
enough
just
to give you it
found things,
back, and
yeah.
just.
Yeah, no.
Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
your
I'll just say
understanding.
it's Artemis. It's more complicated than you realize. However, thank you.
He again
Yeah.
bops the other two of you on the head and again does the sort of quiet nod to each of you. Then walks out and he looks up and the sun is very much setting at this point. And all you see is the lighthouse light spinning around as it gets darker and darker. And he
Oh,
goes,
no.
I must away, but I bid you all welcome in, Raiders.
Yeah.
I bid you all a good evening. I think I've already skipped a time slot, but it doesn't matter. We'll just carry on. And
Yeah, it's fine.
as the sun sets and the lighthouse goes, and you see Artemis making his way through the thing, there's a strange cracking sound, and then the lighthouse turns off. You are now standing in total pitch black, barely illuminated from the stars in the sky. There is no light in the world right now. What do you do?
We make it for the docks.
Or do we try and put the lighthouse back on?
I'm worried about using flint and tinder in that building that was so recently occupied by gunpowder and moonshine.
I have a torch. We could just throw a
That's
torch
still
in it.
fire.
Yeah, but we could stand at a distance and throw the torch in it.
That's true, yeah. I say we could light the torch and see what we can see. Can we see the world? Does the world still exist? Are we now in a void? If so, can we then see inside the lighthouse? If so, can we see if there's any combustibles? There's a chain of things that should happen.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to light a torch.
You light the torch, and you look inside the lighthouse, and everything smells dusty, and but there isn't really anything immediately that you can see. Though you see the cellar is still locked.
Okay.
And in the distance you see there is a couple of lights in the farm, but they look like candles. You see Artemis talking to. You can see just the outline of a figure talking to people standing out this front. What do you wish to do?
I'm going
Should
to
we
try-
relight the lighthouse?
I don't know.
Well, the light going out doesn't seem like a positive step.
It doesn't, but nothing else has really happened from it. But we don't know why it stopped.
I suppose what other light would we really be expecting? If the
Yeah.
village, if everyone's left the village to go to the farm. All
It might
that's
just be that the lighthouse burnt out because there's no one to tend it.
So all it means right now is that we have a lighthouse with no light in it on rocks that we know are dangerous. But is there any ships going to be sailing in the night?
Ours? The one that we plan on beasting it off this island on?
Yeah, something to navigate away from the island might be an idea.
Yeah, I think we need to try and relight the lighthouse.
Yeah. Yeah. First step, we're going to run back up and relight that lighthouse.
Okay.
I have oil.
I have oil as well, so I know a lighthouse is going to be bigger than like a normal, lamp or something like that. So
Yeah.
if we can combine oil and maybe
Okay.
get some decent burn time out of this.
You run up the stairs. You burst into the sort of lighthouse chamber. You see the sort of where the flame would be, which is currently pitch black. There is no wick, there is no oil. What do you want to do?
There's no wick.
Well, we have oil each. Could we cut some rope down and use that as a makeshift wick?
Hmm?
Yeah, we should be able to.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll do
Yeah,
that.
I have ropes, so we'll do that. We'll make ourselves a wick.
Okay. You.
Daleth and I both have oil, so we can combine our oil and try and get, it's not going to be enough to keep the lighthouse running forever, but should hopefully burn a little.
You light the oil, and the lighthouse sparks back up again. The light isn't as strong as before, but it's definitely still there. What do you want to do now?
Good. Book it to a boat. With the lady and kid in tow is my vote, but...
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, given that everything seems to be... The Seven Seal is broken, lighthouse mysteriously going... We heard a crack when he was walking away, and that's just before the light went out.
Right.
So either it was the lighthouse breaking or the seal breaking, but either way, I think it's, the time for talking might be past. I think we kind of hustle the lady and kid to a boat.
You hustle to a boat. You there's no captains willing to take a boat, so you just grab one yourself and start leaving.
Yep.
You head out onto the sea. You can see the lighthouse behind you, and after about 2 hours, the lighthouse light finally fades again. The sea around you begins to bubble.
Oh no.
Oh, balls.
Everything gets darker and darker. You spark up your torch, and even that begins to just get darker and darker. You see in the distance a small beam of light coming down from above. And then as you look up, you see a beam of light coming down to yourselves, and somehow you're now in third person looking at yourselves. Looking at your forms as you begin to sort of start tilting and rising. You look around confused and see you're leaving behind everyone else, but you're rising to the stars. You're rising and rising and rising. Welcome to the Rapture. You did not save the world.
We didn't save the world.
But you saved yourselves.
We apparently saved ourselves.
Yes. You got absolution.
I see that as an absolute win.
The Rapture happened, and you survived. Well, survived, moved on without being stuck in a cold, dark world as it slowly destroys itself.
I
So
feel like
yes.
that's a Pyrrhic victory. But,
I don't know, because I'm not sure.
The lady and the
else
fat kid
we
would have
could
been with
have
us as
done
well.
with
So
Yeah, they got absolution.
Yeah. The lady and the fat kid rise as well.
We technically achieved the objective of saving the kids.
This is true, yes.
You did. So, I will quickly do a who are these folk again, and then I will go off stream and I will answer any questions they have about the story. But yes, so
perfect.
who are you, what are you, and where can people find you starting again with Dragon?
I mostly manage the socials and I'm the contact person for Penance RPG. You can also see myself and Coakley as part of our Varlastan stream. The next one will be 2 weeks today, which is the 30th, so the day before Halloween. We will have another couple of these Halloween streams before then, for people running this scenario. Hopefully they are slightly more successful than we were. Though I feel we probably got like the middle ending. It could have been a lot worse.
There, as I said to you earlier, there are multiple endings for this year.
Yeah.
And I've not had the same ending twice yet, and this is the third group.
Oh, that's interesting.
Interesting.
But yes, if you want to get in touch with me, you can ping me on most of the Penance RPG accounts in most places, and it'll be me you get.
All right. Then we have Coakley.
Yep. As Dragon said, I'm one of the cast members on our Varlastan streams. I'm also a writer, copy editor, all sorts of things. So if anyone needs anything done, just give me a shout. And yeah, I'll hopefully be seeing you all very soon.
All right. And finally, we have Sam.
And I am SamMunition. You can very, very occasionally catch me playing games very badly over at SamMunitionDepot.
All right. Well, that was the players. We're going to raid out to another person doing RPGs, which will be Stolen Fires. So, yeah. Oh, I think they have just wound up. Have they just wound up, or is my raid not working? Nope. My raid just didn't want to fire. Let me just put that in again.
Fair enough.
Because it does this sometimes, because Twitch doesn't want me to raid. You're unable to raid them at this time. Oh well.
Twitch has been broken recently.
It has been broken recently. We'll try raiding one more person, and if they're not on, then we will do it there. Who are you? But yes, thank you everyone for watching along. Our next streams will be tomorrow. I'll be doing Deep Rock with Tom's F Meow. I'll be doing some indie horror afterwards. Wednesday might be more Echo. Rowan said she might be up for it again this week, so I'll have to find out about that. Might be a short one. A couple of hours playing some more Echo. Thursday will be more indie horror. Friday will be me, Tom, and Zeph playing Distrust, and then afterwards might be some Sons of the Forest, might be some Phasmo, depends entirely what folk are up for. And then I think Saturday's our next group for this, I believe, it's 21st.
Yes, I believe so.
So yes, we will try raiding this lot, who are another UK D&D podcast. They have a lot more people interested in them, so let's just see if it lets us raid. It does. Alright, we'll go raid them. So until next time, folks, you all take care, have a great rest of your week. We'll catch us all soon. Till then, take care. Good night.
Good night.
Catch you later.
Cheers.